This is your spiritual podcast station, bringing you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. This is the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We are live right now in the 1831 studio. My name is Cynthia Moore.
And I'm Anthony Fliggins.
And this is Pastor Anthony Said. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Pastor Anthony Said. Come on in the room. We are live. This is your special edition of the PAStour coming to you right now.
Yep.
Come on in. Make sure you can hear us well. Mm-hmm. Let's see. If you can, come on, put a 1 in the comments. Let me share this on my page also. How you doing today?
I can't complain. 1 is for hearing, huh?
1 is for hearing. One is for, okay, we might got a hearer here.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
Well,
we can hear it.
There you go.
And that's for sure. Okay, there we go. Yes. We're in there. Okay, come on in the room. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Tell us who you are if you're coming in the room. Let's see. We are live right now on Pastor Anthony Said on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel as well.
How you been?
I've been good.
Good. It's been some
long time, huh?
It's been some time, huh?
It's been quite a while. Been very good.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How have you been doing?
I've been okay. I'm doing well. Put it that way. I'm not complaining at all. I believe that if I keep going the way I'm going, things are gonna be all right.
Okay.
And so sort of I found a rhythm here. Okay. And I'm a rock and roll.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. I get influenced by certain things, and then once I start listening to something like a piece of music or an album, I'll wear the album out. I listen to it like 95 different times, over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. And so I've been listening to Jelly Roll.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not think that's what you was going to say. Okay.
Okay, so where did Jelly Roll come from, right? How did I get Jelly Roll? Because I was following Gabby Simone on American Idol. Okay. And so everybody know that Gabby Simone is from Baltimore City. Big ups to Gabby.
Yes.
One of the finalists in Baltimore City. Absolutely. Big ups, Gabby. We are proud of you. And so while I'm watching this, I'm like, man, who was this guy, Jelly Roll? And I'm addicted.
And you're a fan? Wow.
Yeah, already. That's all I listen to now.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Ain't it?
Very interesting. I did not think that's what you were going to say.
Yep.
Not at all.
So I'm stuck on Jelly Roll.
What's your favorite?
Okay, so he got this song. No. He got this song with he got this song called Liar. Okay. And he look into the mirror and say all these things about himself, but look at all the negative things he's saying. Look in the mirror and say, but you're a liar. And so that is, I like Liar. I like one. Eminem is on there. And I think they're apologizing to all their kids for not being there doing their music career. Okay. Yeah. So I'm listening to Jelly Roll.
Okay. You wearing it out?
Yeah. It's on here now. As soon as you get in the car,
that's
the Bluetooth. So
hilarious. Okay, that's good.
So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. When I like something, I do over wear it out, I guess, a little bit too.
You do?
So, a little bit, I think so.
Yeah. I try to study it. I try to see. I feel the different nuances. And you know what I listen to when I listen to music?
What's that?
I'm trying to figure out, did they sing it at different times in their life? And did they put the collaboration together? So I tried to see, from hearing, is the song coming from a different place? Okay. You can pretty much tell, well, I can tell, when somebody sings a song about a heartbreak and their heart has really been broken. Yeah. Somebody who's in love and their heart is in love. Somebody who's doing it and their heart is in it. You kind of tell, like, they talking about intimacy, but they never had a real experience. Yeah. And you can sort of, they talking about a heartbreak, but they really don't know how. And you can feel the passion and the pain and the glory and the retribution, because some people get people back. Right. You get what I'm saying? So you feel all of that in the music. So I'm listening for all of those things. And I'm like, okay, they was at a good place, but they were not. So that's what I believe. It is what it is.
That's interesting.
Anyway, we got somebody here.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we got somebody here who I honestly believe that he lives what he preached.
Yes.
I believe it's a part of his experience. You're going to hear his voice, but I'm going to say what I think I know about him.
Okay.
All right. So when I first heard him, I knew about him before someone told me about him before I actually heard him preach. And they were saying, "Hey man, you got to connect with this brother. You got to connect with him. You got to connect with him." I said, "Okay, I'll connect." Generally I'm sort of by myself, to myself, with myself. I'm sort of in a corner. But I'm trying to bring my head up out of the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I am. Really,
Okay.
I am. I am doing the best I can to get my head out of the sand.
Get out of the sand.
Yes, I'm trying.
Coming up the sand, Bob.
And so when they told me about him, I said, "Okay, I got to hear him preach." When I heard him preach, I said, "This man got an old soul. This man he's a hard, heavy, going, sweating, dance, preach, dance, preach, dance again, preach again, and dance again." I said, "They don't make them anymore." I said, "Where did he come from? What's going on here?" I said, "I don't know how well he's going to do in Baltimore." My mind was going through all those things. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in the building with us today our good brother, our friend in the gospel, one we will know more about, Pastor Will Craig. God bless you, sir.
I appreciate you guys having me today.
Welcome.
I'm excited to be here with you guys today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. Usually I start off with prayer, and I didn't today. So I'm
You
going to go ahead,
didn't.
yeah, and so I'm going to go ahead and start praying. We're going to change it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's change it.
Okay.
Can you pray us in?
Sure, I can.
Pray us in, Dr. Will.
Absolutely. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. Thank you for these people that are here today.
Yes, Lord.
Father, touch these souls that will hear us.
Yes.
Allow our communication and our transparency to be able to bless them, allow them to flourish and grow. And we believe that we have something special for your people tonight. Bless us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
For sure.
Yes,
Wait a minute.
for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
All of you pastors,
Go for it.
overseers, prophets, is there a special class that you all go to for this voice thing? Because everybody hits the mic, all but maybe one or two. And y'all get on like, yeah, hallelujah, in the name of Jesus. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good voice. Is there a special class that you all go to for this, or is it just natural?
I think it's
just
just natural.
anointing.
Yeah, I think it's natural. What you think, Pastor? Natural?
We listen to so many preachers.
True.
And so many
Very
preachers
true.
talk to us.
Very true.
That when we pick the phone up
Okay.
and, God bless you, son. How you
Okay.
doing?
Okay.
You get used to that. Bless you, fliggins, you doing all right. You get that like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So we used to it.
Okay.
So I
I
think
take
we
that.
mimic it.
For sure.
And it's like a part.
It becomes a part of you.
It becomes a
For
part
sure.
of you. And
Okay.
then,
For
so,
sure.
yeah.
I'll
so,
take that.
Yeah.
All right, because all of it is really, that's how it's
so
that's how it
where-
started.
that's-
Okay.
that's how-
All right, that's good. Good to know.
Good.
To know.
All right. Tell us something about Pastor Will Craig.
Yeah.
KDT.
Yeah.
Kingdom Deliverance
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle.
For sure.
Okay. Did you ever consider tabernacle? Did you have that when the Lord gave you that?
Yeah.
Did you ever wrestle with tabernacle or temple? Did you have to wrestle with that in?
I wrestle with that. I wrestle with that a lot.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
And
We're
I
going
think
right in.
I wrestle with that for multiple reasons. I think when you look in the scripture, the place of worship is oftentimes described in two places: tabernacle or temple.
That's right.
Right. And so I had to, I wasn't looking for something catchy, but I was looking for something that would have longevity.
Okay.
Right. And so my goal with Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle was to have something that lived past me. And so I actually battled with it for a long period of time. And then one day I was praying and I was getting ready to send the final proof to my marketing director. And I said, I think I'm going to go with the tabernacle because anytime I think of the tabernacle, it is always described as a place that is full of peace and safety. And
Okay.
so that is the reason why I chose tabernacle over temple. Temple is often described as a place of prayer, reverence, things like that. You talk about the tabernacle, it was so sacred, so holy, so comforting. And so that was the thing. And my goal was to, build a ministry that was for all people,
Okay.
whatever race, whatever creed, wherever place you came from, and really build a place where people felt safe to worship God and whatever they had going on. And so, for 6 years now, I've been rocking with that.
So tabernacle. Anything to?
Go ahead. I'm good.
So tabernacle come from that. So it wasn't that there are too many temples. There are about. Can I give you the numbers?
No,
Go for it.
go ahead.
Get
Go ahead. What's the numbers? I know you got them.
Yeah. There are about 2,000 churches in Baltimore City.
Yeah,
2,000 registered churches in Baltimore City.
Sure.
Right around that.
Sure.
Right around a little under 600,000 people.
Sure.
If we filled every church in Baltimore City, we would only ruin about 10%.
Sure.
Those are the numbers. There are about 1,600 bars in Baltimore City. Most of the churches that are recognized are churches from the Catholic community, our Catholic community. Hence, Mary, the land of Mary, Mary Marietta. Yeah. You get it. And so those are the ones that are recognized. Yeah. There are a whole lot of temples in Baltimore City. I'm in the Eastern District. In the Eastern District alone, there are 300. Right where we are, there are 300 churches right around here. So everybody has a temple. Everybody is a temple, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it didn't. But what I'm saying is, there are a whole lot of places that has that name. I'm asking you, did you say, you know what? Because because the names of churches are so flooded with temple at the end, you decided, you know what? I'm going to shift this and call it a tabernacle. But you're saying it had nothing to do. with that.
I didn't. When I thought about the demographic, if I can be transparent, when the Lord sent me to Baltimore, I was not excited. This was not number one. I'm not from here.
Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And so I'm not.
I was going to bring that in. I was going to bring that in.
Yeah.
I was coming up there, but I got the numbers down.
I'm around the mountain.
I got the numbers.
Too quick.
What I mean? I wasn't from here,
Philly.
and for me, I feel like Baltimore has a well-established group of ministries and churches, right? And so the biggest thing was like, where do I fit, right? Who's going to come and be a part of me? I don't know anybody from here. I have a few friends, but I don't know anybody from here. So now I got to come and pastor and start over. I have, I don't know nobody. I don't know, where to go. I don't know where to begin. I don't know different sides of the city. Like I don't know East Baltimore from West Baltimore.
Really?
Right.
I don't know none of that. I just know Baltimore. Right. I mean, listen, like the most I know about Baltimore is one of my favorite shows was what? What do you guys think it was?
The Wire.
There you go. Right. That's all I know. Right. Outside
Baltimore.
of that. Right.
Yeah. Stand up.
Right.
Let's
So
go.
like outside of that, it was like I really don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know the demographic. But I need to have something that will bring attention, right?
Wow.
And so when you talk about Tabernacle Temple, it wasn't a difference of how many were here. It was like, what is going to make me stand out? What is going to catch people's attention?
I think that's what I was asking.
Yeah, it was like what's going to catch attention. I felt like temple was so common.
I think I was.
Yeah,
I think that's where
it was so common. Like even in Philadelphia, there's a lot of temples.
I was going there.
It's
I was
a
going
common
there.
ending.
A whole lot of temples.
It's a whole lot.
Church of God in Christ
For sure.
temples.
For sure.
A lot of
For
it
sure.
in Philly.
For sure. Absolutely.
My wife from Philly. That's how I know. I get the numbers, Doc.
For sure.
It is. I mean,
Temples.
it's a church on every other
For sure.
block.
For sure.
Like when this is every corner. Over there, it's almost like you can have 2 or 3 churches in one block in Philly.
I grew up in a church on Ridge Avenue, and it was a church across the street, directly across the street, and it was a church up the street.
Wow.
So you're talking about in a radius of not even a mile.
That's right.
It was 3 churches.
That's right. That's
Wow.
right. That's right.
So
You know who else like that? Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's church land out there.
Oh my goodness, man.
Church land.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
So when you first started,
Yeah.
did you have like a church there, and so some of your members like came? It was brand new coming here.
No, so I've always prided myself on being an anointed second, right? I feel like there's so much power in a pastor having a 2 that they don't have to worry about trying to be a 1, right? And so,
Really?
oh yeah, man. And
Yeah, you said you pride yourself
Say that again.
on being anointed second.
I did. It was
Say it
something.
again.
It was something
Let me
I
hear
was
that again.
always like, man, I'm good in this. Like, can't nobody beat me being a number 2. Right?
Really?
Because when and you're a sports guy, right? So here's my thing. Coming up in the era of the 90s,
He going in.
I wasn't
Go.
an Isaiah Thomas fan. I was a Joe Dumars fan. I wasn't a Michael Jordan fan. I was a Scottie
Scottie
Pippen
Pippen.
fan. You get what I'm saying? Because without that 2, 1 ain't winning nothing.
on.
I don't care what nobody say. You understand? I was never a Kobe fan. I was a Shaq fan. It was always that 2 which ultimately propelled the 1 to, because the 1 gonna be the 1. It's gonna stand out, right? That 2 is what gets you over the hump.
Wow.
And I always felt like in ministry, my goal and my anointing was to help my leader get over the hump.
Wow.
But I never knew that equated me to being a 1 one day.
Oh, I got some more questions, Doc.
I like that.
I never. Go ahead. What you want to say?
So you didn't want to be a number one because you were afraid of responsibility.
No, that's not what
No.
you said.
No. I have to ask the question.
Where'd you get
No.
You got that out of that?
No, I'm really asking a real question because there are two sides to every story.
Okay,
Sure.
And so if you give me the obvious, I'm
Yeah.
going to ask those. I'm going to
Sure.
ask what people cannot see.
Sure.
Because I know a part of ministry.
Yeah.
Because when you see a leader, you'll see their attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're saying I can have the influence of my leader in this
Without
circle without
dealing with
taking
the-
that, without
yeah.
dealing with all the.
So yes.
So
yes.
Yes. Did that come into play?
Oh, that was the biggest part of it.
Wait.
Like,
See,
my
Wait,
joy,
no, wait, hold on.
I told
my
you.
joy,
Tom,
my
I
joy in
told
being
you.
two
See?
was I don't have to deal with the nonsense one got to deal
But
with.
you said that you were always
How did
attracted.
I know this?
Hold up. You said you was always. You said you were
Man, we
always
preachers out
attracted
here.
to the two, though, right? Since you were younger.
Yeah, because
Like-
when I looked at it, right, if Detroit lost the game, they're not asking Joe Dumars, they're asking Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, so it was the pressure.
Chicago
Okay.
loses,
See?
right? If Chicago goes on a losing streak, Jordan is going to the podium, not Pippen, right? So if something go wrong, they coming for you. They ain't coming for me.
I think I'm number two.
So I ain't got to deal with that.
It is the other side of
Wow.
this.
For sure.
And there are two sides to pastoring. Absolutely. There are two sides to ministry. I think we love the glorious side, but the inglorious side is the part that we don't want to, we don't even want to talk about.
No.
But it's a real thing.
No.
It's a real thing.
Listen, when I got here, I began and my
Y'all come on in, everybody.
Spiritual
Come on in.
sons.
This is
Share.
going to be
Like,
good.
In my
Share.
spiritual son's home, right? And it was 5 of us. 5 of us. And I'm like, this is perfect. 5 people. This ain't gonna work. I can say, God, I tried, and it ain't work.
I tried.
Right? I tried. I failed. Didn't work. I can go back to being a 2, right?
Wow.
We got our first building in Glen Burnie, and in 6 months, we outgrew it.
Wow.
So I'm like, dang. Now I gotta stay committed to
Right.
it because now I got people following me,
got
right?
responsibility.
And then-
You got that
right? And so
responsibility.
I'm like, okay,
Wow.
so we move over, down to 1700, and we move to that side, Pratt Street, and I'm like, this space is bigger, great. I'm definitely not gonna be able to fill this, so it'll work itself out, and then it grows. But then we had a pandemic, so I'm like, bet out of here.
Yeah.
I knew it. See, I knew this wasn't my call. I knew this wasn't my call.
Right.
Pandemic, perfect time. Ain't nobody in church. I can let it go. And
Oh, hilarious.
I taught
love your
for,
honesty.
and if some of them on there tell you, I taught for. It ended up being in our consecration. 'Cause if you remember, the pandemic happened right around March, but we were in our 21 days of consecration during that time.
Okay.
And I taught for 21 days, and the church grew. And so it was like the more I thought I had a pathway out, it was the more God brought people to me
Wow.
to show me, like, this is what I've called you to do, right? And the issue wasn't the people. The issue was the demographics. I'm not from here. And so if I can be transparent, it hasn't been many people that have reached out to me or helped me
Yeah.
or asked, are you okay? Is there anything you need, right? Outside of Pastor Fliggins and a few other people, I haven't, so I've been solo.
Wow.
Been on the island out here, outside of my, very close friend, Prophet Johnson. I haven't.
That's Antoine, everybody.
That's my guy, right? I
out
haven't
to Prophet
had.
Antoine.
He on here now
That's-
talking about. Guess what he
that's my-
said?
What'd he say?
We replace you.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now watch. Now when I
Don't
leave,
start-
now
don't
watch. When
start
I
that,
leave,
Prophet.
he gonna call me and say, "Oh, you didn't tell me you was coming down to the Flickers today."
Don't start, Prophet, okay?
And so it's been a whirlwind of emotions. And if I can be honest, there's been moments where I'm like, I don't think this is for me no more. I don't think this is. I don't fit in. I don't fit in. And the Lord was trying to show me it's not about you fitting in. I brought you down here to stand out.
My God.
But standing out feels lonely, bro.
It
Like
does.
when you
Facts.
when people can be jealous about what they perceive your future is going to be, and I'm like, listen, I don't even know what tomorrow going to be,
Right.
and you talking about my future,
Yeah.
that's weird,
Right.
right? And it's like I don't want to. I'm not even from here, so I can pack my stuff up and go, like,
Right.
and it just no matter how many times I've thought like it was like our building flooded, got destroyed,
Yep.
right? And you came Sunday, church packed, right? I'm in another place, and these people are still here. It's
Wow.
like no matter what happens, it is
We
no
with you.
getting away from it,
Yeah.
And so I think I've finally settled on the fact that this is what God has called me to do. And now I'm trying to navigate with the right connections.
Okay.
Ed out the sand, you talking my language.
Okay.
Because that's me all day.
That's you
like
all day.
trying to tell you. My head buried in the sand. I don't bother nobody. I don't hang with nobody.
Yeah, it's me.
I ain't got no cliques. I ain't got no preaching circles. I got, you showing up on Sunday meant a lot to me. Because I don't have people. Right.
What about
so
me?
when you,
What about me?
Oh yeah.
Because I was there.
You my dog though. I'm
just saying.
You my dog though.
I'm just.
You my dog though. You my
Forget
dog.
about me.
Ace all day long. All day long. Right. But and seeing certain people come, it means a lot.
Yeah.
When people don't know like what somebody just showing up for you can mean. It's bigger than just preaching and money. Sometimes somebody showing up is saying, I believe in you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And to see you and the influence that you have.
In my cash.
You
Oh,
know,
you $50
it's-
too. Because I said 50, I was in 100. I said 50.
Yeah.
I just hit my spirit.
Just hit the spirit.
I'll make sure I give it to you, Doc.
It's been a joy. And so, now I'm just trying to find my community and just, figure out where I fit from here.
It's interesting. You got something to?
You go ahead. You
Okay,
got
so it's
something.
interesting that you say that you was getting ready to leave or give up or wondering what it is for you, even if you weren't ready to give up. It is something to say within the first 6 years.
Yeah.
Generally, you hear that a little bit later, but in 6 years to hear, you're still at your, so ministry years.
Yeah.
So you do know how church years go.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's do church years.
Yep.
Everybody, let me put my camera on me.
Yep.
Give them these church years real quick so they can see. So everybody think this is a joke, whatever like that. Here are church years. You ready? 10 years up. 20 years over, 10 years down. They church. That's the pastor's. That's the pastor's lifespan.
10 up.
10 up, 20
over.
with platform.
10 down.
Or plateau.
And 10 down.
10 down.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, everybody got it. You got 10 up, 20 over, and then you have 10 down.
Yeah.
Now if you take that that rubric, you take that measure, then you get to understand what's going on with the Jakes and one of the bottoms of the world. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Now
Say it again.
everybody get it.
10 up.
It's 10 up.
20 over.
10 up, 20 over, 10 down.
Wow.
The pastor must make sure, you're ready for this, that the 10 up is not a erect, straight 10 up. Our 10 up needs to look like this. There must be a tilt on the 10 up. That means that we have positioned ourselves in ministry to let other people come on board while we're going up.
For sure.
It's good.
So it's like a mountain almost, but
Climb,
and then
like that,
yes,
climb,
a crown
yeah,
almost,
climb.
yes. And then when we go down, it's not a complete fall. And that's why I brought up the Jakes and everybody else. We're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
slope
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And so on your way up, you say, hey, I don't think this is, you got, God can do anything, by the way.
Absolutely.
He can change anything, and everybody's not the same.
For sure.
To God be glory.
For sure.
But on your way up, have you placed yourself in a position to put people around you that would say, Pastor, I see that you're getting ready to let this thing go. Hang in there.
Yeah. I think
You got them around you,
Yeah.
or are you just solo? Your people really don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know when you hurt. They
Yeah.
don't know when you happy.
Yeah.
Well, who are
No,
you? Who
I
are
have,
you?
I have a body of people that are, some are leaders, some are not leaders, but are very close to me and understand the trajectory of ministry
Okay.
and also understand, the planning phase of it. And so my executive pastor is my
Bless you,
Scottie
sir.
Pippen.
Bless you, sir.
He is my Scottie Pippen. He is the
Okay.
one that can sense, can feel, can know when it's overwhelming. I also have elders, right? And one of them is my significant other.
Okay.
And so she does a great job. Elder Kendra does a great job of sensing when the burnout is coming, sensing when the frustration is coming, right? She's the one that says like, hey, I think you probably shouldn't come out the office until this time because you probably just need to gather your thoughts,
Right.
and eliminate anything that could potentially be a distraction today because you're really not feeling it, or like, hey, the weight of it is becoming a bit much. I think you need to reach out to us and start to divvy some of this up, right? And so,
Good.
I have people, that are there. It's me now though understanding how to divide that up, right?
Okay.
Because as a pastor, Sometimes it can be, my dream, my baby, my goal. This is what God gave me, my vision, not understanding He gave it to you for you to be able to distribute it equally amongst the people that you can trust, right?
Oh man,
now you can't share it with everybody, right? But there are some people you need to, say, this is what the Lord laid on my heart, and this is how I'm going to distribute it so that we can.
Oh man, you are talking.
Make it happen. You know what I mean?
So go ahead, Ted, because you know me.
How receptive were you when your team or when your significant other started to impart those things and you're like, hey, it's time to do this, or how about take the time for that? Like, was it easy for you to just be like, okay?
No.
Or like
No.
Did you fight? How did that look?
Oh my goodness! Like,
heck no.
I mean, what? No, absolutely.
Never know.
Like, there's no,
Never know.
no, like, no. The Lord
Never know. It's hilarious.
The Lord gave this to me.
Right.
You were about to say that. I was about to say that.
He gave this to me.
Can't nobody clean the floors like you.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Can't nobody sweep up and wipe off
No.
the counter like you. Let them have it, Doc.
No,
Take the floor, Doc.
the Lord gave this to me.
We got the right one on.
Right?
We got the right one.
Right? No, this is mine. The Lord gave it to me. I have labored. I have cried. I have sold the Lord gave this to me. And so, but what I saw was I was overworking myself, right? And I was working way harder.
Wait a minute. Elder Kendra said he fights me to the nail.
Oh, she listen, let me say something. She is a God. I could not have asked for a better woman.
I know that's
like
right.
When I say
Beautiful.
that woman understands me,
Beautiful.
understands me to the point where I could go to sheep like, we not doing that.
Wow.
Right? And it'll be a negative thought that's getting ready to come out. Because as
Yeah.
pastors, we're human, right?
That's right.
Now you can make people think you speak in tongues
Yeah.
all day. That's fine.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's a
Amen.
human side of you that says, I'm sick of this one, and I'm sick of this, and I'm sick of that, and I'm sick of this, right?
Absolutely.
And so she's resilient. Like, she doesn't care if I don't like it. She doesn't care if I don't. And there's moments where she's like, no, Pastor Craig, that's you. That's not.
Good.
That's not people. That's not the church.
That's you.
That ain't the
That's you.
devil.
Exactly.
That's you. And you got to deal with that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think every pastor needs that. Like,
Yes.
you need somebody that can love you enough to be honest
Absolutely.
and say, no. This not the people this time.
Right.
This
you.
you.
It's you.
Yeah, this you. Because as a leader, you hold fast to what you've worked for.
That's right.
Right? And I got it out the mud.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me a building, nobody gave me no money.
right.
Nothing. Like, we worked for that. And so for me, I held it closer and tighter because it was so much work and effort that went into it.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I said my part. No, never. Never know.
Never
No.
know.
No.
Never
No,
know.
we're good. We're good. So, when did you? So, in ministry like that, it takes time for us to trust those that are around us.
For sure.
And it takes time because of what we have instilled and what the Lord has given us. And oftentimes, in the beginning, the vision doesn't look like what the Lord has placed in our spirit.
For sure.
Because it's in seed form.
For sure.
And when it's in seed form, you see the seed. But
sure.
So I often say about a pastor is we live in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we come back every Sunday or every weekend to get our people to take us with us. So we always there.
For sure.
Pastor, what's on your brain? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
We there.
For sure.
You're at the next place.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, Pastor, we can do this another 6 months. You like, no, we can't. No, we can't.
Right.
Yeah, we here. Yeah,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
Rev, I love you, but
Yeah.
we ain't gonna stay here.
For sure.
You're in the next place.
Yeah.
When they are trying to, and here's the funny part about it. You're in tomorrow, and they are trying to encourage your now. So you're ministering to a
Wow.
place I don't even exist.
For sure.
And so a part of you have to come back
For sure.
Wow.
to accept what they are giving because you do need that encouragement. You know why? Because we are here now.
Man.
Reality is we here.
For sure.
Reality is the building flooded. Reality is I'm using another facility.
Yeah.
Reality is the cost is the overhead is getting up there.
Yeah.
Reality is I got to keep the ministry going, but the summer is coming and everybody going on vacation.
My God.
Reality is
Facts.
Now you on your next building, but the reality is,
listen. This is the reality.
The reality is,
for sure,
we here.
Absolutely.
And people minister to that part, and this is what you're going to learn how to trust. And so God placed people around us so we can sort of get a clear understanding of what God is doing in this moment, and God has to preserve us now so that we don't burn out for tomorrow.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's the trusting in having people.
Yeah.
To God be glory.
I agree.
Go ahead, man.
Beautiful.
Put a cap on that. Say what I just said. Make it sound good.
I think the biggest part of it is understanding that with every tomorrow there is a present, right? So the future is inevitable.
Yeah.
Right? However, to your point, there is a space and time where you need somebody that can say, yes, that is in the future. However, we need to maintain and produce in the now, right?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times pastors get so excited about what's next that we don't maximize what's present.
Yes.
And so what I'm doing now is maximizing
That's what you're
what's
doing.
present.
That's what you're doing now.
I'm maximizing.
Do you suffer with ambition?
Man, that's a great question. I would say yes.
You know, most pastors say no.
I would say yes. But for multiple reasons though. And so here's the thing. I am a visionary, right? And so what the ministry is now is what I have been working for the ministry to be 6 years ago.
Okay.
Right? So when people look at the music ministry now, it's like, oh man, this is amazing. Right. But 6 years ago, it didn't sound like this.
Right.
However, all of my feedback, right, and support was in conjunction to what would be 6 years later. Right. And so that part of me was very ambitious in the state of like, no, we don't have the people, but I believe we have the necessary pieces to become.
Yeah.
Right. And so now I'm building in people that don't have confidence. I'm building in people that's never been leaders before. Right. A lot of people that came to my church have been in church all their life. They've never been a leader. And so now they're leaders of auxiliaries. They're leaders of ministries. Wow. And it's like, wait a minute. Let's meet with all the leaders, right? Number one, you have to communicate with whoever you're leading. Yeah. Number two, you have to have expectations, right? And so I think we just see people in church for so long and automatically believe they come with the goods.
Yeah.
Not testing to see, you know, wait, what do you have, right? If you were a leader, how would you do this, right? If conflict comes, how will you handle it? And so what I started doing was interviews for people
it's like interview process.
that wanted to become leaders in the church because I want to know why. Why you want to become a leader?
Right.
Right. What is your motivation for being a leader?
Right.
Right. When your team is not here, what are you going to do?
Right.
Right. How are you communicating with your team? Does your team even respect you?
Right.
Right. Because you can't lead a people that don't want to listen to you.
Exactly.
Right. And so that is one of the things that, you know, ambition has oftentimes gotten the best of me. And sometimes I have to be wise because then I'm too hands-on. Right.
Okay.
And so that's and sometimes that can stagnate the growth of a leader. Right.
It can.
You have to give leaders room to fall. You have to give leaders room to fail. You have to give leaders room to have conflict.
That's where I was going. You go ahead, Doc.
You know, and deal with it. And so I'm learning in year 6 how to help people navigate conflict.
Yeah.
Whereas in year 1 through 5, I handled it for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Okay.
You got something there.
So what's the timeline look like for that? Like when you do your interview process and they pass, or you know, and you feel like they're able to do it. Like how long do you coach?
So
you just fall back.
It's at least a 6 months, 6 month period where me and my executive pastor, are monitoring, and a lot of that falls to him. Once I get them to a place where leadership is now there, now he follows through with who's your team.
Okay.
And when are you guys meeting, right?
Okay.
And here are the expectations again, and they kind of go to him as that product of like, hey, this is my support coach right now, right? Because me, if I see it, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay.
Whereas he's gonna put them back in the fire to fix it themselves. And so like you have to understand like where you fall in ministry and how sometimes your ambition can cause you to stunt the growth of people.
That's
Absolutely.
it. I was thinking about this, and he is accurate. But you can only have that confidence if you know how to teach them to sort of redirect.
For sure.
and you're not afraid
Sure.
of people sort of going what we call left field.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people want to fix things right away. Fix does mean fix, like you fix an animal.
Yeah.
And what you do is you stop production. When you fix a cat or dog, we got them fixed. You fix somebody or you fix something or you cut something off right away. What you do is while you are stopping the bad, you are also prohibiting the good. And the reason you do this is because people will be, they will become so concerned, overly concerned about some of the things they're doing. They won't do anything at all because they think everything they're doing is the wrong thing. So now they're ministering and operating with the sense of, is this right? Is this right? And then most people will say, just because I don't want to mess things up, I won't do anything at all. And then this is what they say. Yeah. I ain't doing nothing unless you say it. If you don't say it, I'm not even going to think about doing anything. I'm at the point in my ministry now that says, no, I need you to I need to see your fingerprint on the ministry because it's not Anthony Fliggins' church. This is the court of Christ. I need to see it. And oftentimes, these people want to make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, my job is to say, okay, this is how you sort of navigate your way through what you're doing to find better waters. But this was the road to get to where you need to go. It's not an alternative. And everybody think that. So people think, a lot of people think, put my camera right back on me for these people. Because I know how they think. A lot of people think there's a good side and a bad side. That's not the way it works in ministry. In ministry, the way it works is the road to good is the bad. The road to the cross is Calvary. The road to resurrection is the grave. The road to where you're going is that rough patch. So while you're trying to avoid all the rough patches, what you are doing is avoiding the road to you're moving yourself from where you need to be in ministry because you're afraid to go through that. But that leads you to where you need to be. So in that sense, if you're not afraid of it, go ahead. And you know you're going to make some mistakes. All of us. Yeah. So now this is my mentality with ministering with people. And now when I see that people are doing negative things and making mistakes, and I'm not upset because this is the part of your journey. You get through this, there is another side. Let's get to the other side of this. But please don't think that there is an alternative side because you're going to have to face that thing now or later.
Right.
Whatever you're dealing with, whatever it is.
Sure.
So let's just say that, policies are in place. I got this thing out the way. I ain't got to deal with it no more. You don't have to deal with it with this group. Somebody else can come along and trigger whatever you have ignored.
Oh, for sure.
Or whatever you thought you got over.
For sure.
And then you're going to find yourself at that place again because you never actually went through it.
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm speaking in jargon, but the pastors know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now ministry has to say, okay, you have to oversee. And you have to look at the entire picture. And while looking at the entire picture, you're saying, okay, they got to go through this, Lord.
Yeah.
They got to go through the wilderness.
Yeah.
To get to the promised land. There is no alternative. Why are we so afraid of people falling, making mistakes, failing, missteps, fumbling the ball? Why are we so afraid? Is it our ego? We don't want the church to know? We don't want people outside to know? We don't want people on camera who ain't giving nothing anyway. We don't want them to know.
Not them. I think, I honestly believe, and it's interesting because we were talking about this yesterday in Bible study. I honestly don't think people see the value in failure.
Let's go.
And
Let's go.
Understanding that
Let's go.
The value of failure is the tools that you eventually come out with to be successful.
It's necessary.
Right? It's like there's no, to his point, to Pastor's point, there's no getting around it. Failure is on the roadmap.
Yeah.
Right? And so we try to build ministries that are perfect.
Come on.
And then when they fail, now we calling it the enemy, and we calling it the devil and the hate. It is not none of that. It's called development. Development comes with failure.
Absolutely.
Failure is the production and byproduct of the tools that you get to be successful.
I'm the only one clapping. This is our clap again, Doc.
You can't, like you can't, like there's no success without some stage of failure.
Absolutely.
It's how you grow and
And
develop.
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. The church.
I gotta say something
Go for
before I
it. Go for it.
I do agree with that. There does have to be failure comes with it.
Sure.
However, I think that there is a problem when there's no communication within this process.
Sure.
So if the leader is, watching, observing, so that the whoever it is going through this particular task, and they're failing it, which is okay, fine.
Yeah.
But you have some people that don't learn from the fail. They don't learn from the mistake. And so if they keep making the same mistake, at some point there has to be some kind of communication to say, okay, we may need to try another route. Hey, let's do it like this. Or hey, let's see how we can work this out to kind of push them into a better understanding instead of keep going down the same road. So I don't think that it's good to just leave somebody out there that keeps making the same mistake in leadership, because they are ultimately affecting the rest of the team that they're over. So I don't know.
Development ultimately comes with changes at times, right? I think it's inevitable, right? And you would agree, right?
I agree with you saying. I disagree with what Ted is saying.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying. I just
Why
disagree
do you
with
disagree?
you. Because oftentimes when you talk people out of failing, and you'd say to them, hey, you're failing, you're doing this, you're doing that, then they'll find ways to get out of it and immediately get out of it. When failing is not something that you do, it's a season you're in.
Absolutely.
So
I don't
you have
mean
to-
you express it in that way. Like, hey, you're failing.
So if you're saying that the pastor isn't communicating, every pastor can't communicate it, because you're going to have to go through this. You're going to have to feel this. You have to see what this is about. You have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to pray. You're going to have to fast. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to turn down your plate. You're the one that's going to have to ask for forgiveness. You are the one. So if the pastor come along and saying A, B, C, D,
Right.
doing
That's
the
not what I
failure,
mean.
but if the pastor communicates it,
Yeah.
when the pastor communicates, the pastor's not communicating just to encourage.
Right. Of course not.
Mr. Fix It or Mrs. Fix It going to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And my thing is you'll prematurely come out of something. So what were you saying? Because that's how I took it. What were you saying?
No. So as far as the communication, I don't mean give A, B, C, D
So
type
how-
of see your way out of it type of thing.
How is it?
I am saying that if someone is habitually doing the wrong thing, not even the wrong thing, but making a mistake that's not getting better, they're constantly going down the same spiraling path. There is sometimes it's necessary for you to have to communicate what is going on, whether it be a counseling, whatever the case may be, what's happening in the situation. Because if I leave you like this, and I've prayed, yes, I've done these things. If this leader decides to leave in the middle of it, they never get the lesson. They just go.
But what about the season?
The season, they're still going to learn in this. In that season, they're still learning. But if you have someone going down the same path, they're making the same mistake. They're just not getting it. There has to be some type of voice. There has to be some type of instruction. There has to be some type of guidance. Not saying that it has to be, hey, you must do it this way and don't do it like this. But there has to be some type of intervention if we see that there's the same problem.
So the same problem over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I see this in ministry a lot. My question is, when do we come in and say something? That's my concern.
And I believe that comes
So
through prayer.
I think when you look at the inability of their actions to positively impact the ministry, I think is when you say something, right? If your inability to perform or produce is now harming what pastor is trying to do, then we need to have a conversation,
Vision.
right?
Yeah.
If he's struggling to preach because you can only play in one key,
Right.
And you've been here for I'm sorry, I just paralyzed you,
I mean,
and you can only play in one key, right? And it's been 2 years. Yeah, we need to have a conversation.
This is where we are.
It's just a conversation now.
We need to have a conversation,
It has to be a conversation.
right? Because I've done it. I've made hard changes, right? I had a musician that was with me from the beginning, right? I had a musician come in much later, and what the musician was not producing, this other musician could. But I had multiple conversations about your craft and about practice and about taking your craft serious, right?
Yeah.
And so I made a change, but I made a change in the face of both of them.
Right.
Right. And so I'm making this change not because I don't believe in you,
Right.
but because the ministry is to a point where if we continue with you, we're going to go in the wrong way. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I still want you to remain. I still want you to be a part. But now I'm going to ask that you follow this leader in the reins. Right.
Yeah.
And what I saw was he's a phenomenal musician now. Right. Because that subtle change caused him to take himself serious. It wasn't about me. I knew his ability. Right. But if you can't see it in yourself, then I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. And every Sunday I'm going to be frustrated. Yeah. I don't want to be frustrated no more.
And the team's frustrated.
And I still want you to be great. Right. And I still want you to be great. And so now when that musician is out, he's great by himself. Right. Because of that change. So I think to your point, there is a space and time when you have to communicate. But I think to PAStour's point, I think you have to be very wise when you do it, how you do it, right? And I think if it's always grounded in love and outcomes, I think you're always going to get the best result. I think the moment that you leave people to feel isolated and like, I don't think you can no more, this is not working for me, you never get the best out of people.
Absolutely. Agreed.
That was, that answer is, so when some people answer certain things, I hear the professionalism in them. That's a professional answer.
Very balanced answer.
What I mean by professional, that's an answer that says you have been in situations before you became a pastor.
Oh yeah, well I'm assistant principal, so
how did I know? See this? Y'all see what I said? Because that answer sounds like this is not the first time they've been in this situation. This is not their first rodeo.
For sure.
There is something that you dealt with people before. You dealt with your staff, your faculties.
Absolutely.
I had to deal with this before.
Yeah.
And it translated over into
the church.
Into the church. Yeah, that answer
because there's a business side to the church.
We are transitioning this conversation right now.
Like there's a business side to the church.
Absolutely.
And let's just be honest. When musicians come, they want their money.
This
That's
is
the
serious.
business side to the church, right?
This is serious.
And so if I'm hiring you for this, when we come in here, it's not about relationship. This is business. This is the business side of it. We have our personal relationship, but let's remember there's a business side that's connected to this. Because if I don't have your money, you don't care that I love you. You don't care that I'm your pastor.
That's it.
Hello? Hello?
You're
pastor,
right.
you said you was going to pay. All that goes out the window.
All of it.
So why don't we have a right to demand the same thing from
Come
the
on.
people that we
now.
give it to?
Man, that's something.
Right?
That's something.
They can demand of us.
Yes.
But we can't demand of them. Sure, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I set the whole music ministry down.
Wow.
Now, let's have a conversation. Right? This is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Right? Not when you're asking me to produce this, and this. No. Where do we meet and say, this is my part of it? Because I'm going to make sure you paid. I believe in it. I believe musicians should be paid.
Yeah.
There's no argument with me. I'm not going back and forth with nobody.
Right.
At the end of the day, musicians deserve to be paid, right?
Absolutely.
However, I think there's a level of accountability to that pay. And you have to be careful when you pay people that you cannot correct.
Ooh.
That's where it becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
That's good.
I can pay you, but I can't correct you. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So what do you do now? Like, do you establish that before they come
Kick
in?
them out.
Man, well, you
No,
know,
I mean, sure.
you know,
Will Craig. Really?
I mean, the beauty of it is I have a group that's been with me for the majority of the time. I haven't had, and any departure has been for traveling purposes, or any departure has been for, additional opportunities, right? I don't believe in, in holding people back. And I don't believe in cursing people because they leave, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They going to another place. Oh, God gonna curse you. No, he's not. Stop saying that to people.
Yeah, don't say
right?
that.
And so, and then also, I also say, like, you want people that want to be there.
Absolutely.
So the band I have has been with me for 5 years because that's where they want to be.
Right.
That's where they desire to be. That's where they love to be.
Right.
Because I also have a respect for them. Right. I don't talk to them any kind of way.
Right.
I don't treat them any kind of way. I make sure before Sunday is over, before they get done playing their last note, their money is already to them. I believe there's a level of respect and regard that will get people to do some things that they would not do for other people, right? And shout out to the band. There's been times where we've been places and they like, no, don't worry about it. Don't pay me today.
Yeah.
I got you, Pastor.
That's
right.
right. Wow.
Or hey, I'm coming here. This is what the budget is, Pastor. We got you. Don't worry about it. I got you.
We're going to the Waffle House tonight.
Right. I got you. Right. Because it's always a manner of respect and regard, and I think that is important. Because the Levites hold a major part.
Yeah.
You can talk about you don't need no music. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah.
You need something.
Yeah.
You need something because music is what draws people, right? And the word is what's going to keep them.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that draw, now you're making it harder for this man.
Yeah.
Right. So we need that, but I also believe that we have to be very careful how we disregard people so quickly.
Yeah.
Right. A matter of disagreement doesn't mean that now we have to disregard.
Wow.
No, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And figure it out. So, that's my point of it.
My philosophy is this when it comes down to people in ministry and staff is I tend to find the staff who have a level of sensitivity to the spirit.
Sure.
And I do it in a subtle way by giving small principles. I just throw nuggets out there. Almost sometimes the nuggets should become time bombs. And to go off at the right time. But I throw nuggets and principles out there just to see if they have an obedient spirit or a listening ear. And I generally don't give the mic to people who don't know how to listen. And then, Pastor, we ain't preach yet. I don't care. You don't know how to listen. And I said it 18 times.
Right.
And when it come out, you did say it 18 times.
All right.
And I got to say it. You should say it. If you get 19, Pastor, I would have got it at 19. Like, that's not
the kingdom of heaven is like.
I'm going to use that one.
That's a good one.
I'm stealing it. Thou should not steal. Forgive me for that one, Doc.
The kingdom of heaven is like, yeah.
And so you have to. So I'm listening. So I just throw small nuggets out there.
Yeah.
Just to see the obedient spirit. And the reason why I do that is because that's who I am.
For sure.
And I have to find people in ministry, especially in leadership, that have my DNA.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. When you're saying
That's
something,
clutch.
I'm catching a little.
Clutch.
So when people hearing the big things, no. I'm hearing them little things you're saying.
That's clutch.
And I'm hearing the things you're not saying.
It's clutch.
And so that's what I'm listening for in my leadership.
Yeah.
Just the small things. Keep on doing this.
Yeah.
Keep on doing this.
Clutch.
Work your craft. Do this.
Yeah.
Do that. Do this. Read this. Preach. Study a parable. And it's not going to be. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to rub your back. I'm not going to say this is serious and thus saith the Lord.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. I'm not going to walk away from my style of ministry to fit the congregation. What God gave me is for who God.
Sure.
And so there are people that know how to listen. And so if you can handle the small thing, because it's that small, and it's the still voice when God speaks.
Yeah.
It ain't all that. It's not that. It's that ring in your spirit 3 o'clock in the morning. Say this. Pick this up. Go over here. So in speaking small words to the people, I'm helping them to understand the still voice of God. And those are the things that make the big difference.
Yeah.
Go buy this.
Yeah.
Put that down.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And now they come to me saying, hey, Pastor, we ready to preach. I say, yeah, but did you do this? Nah, we ready to preach. Like, no. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is because that's my DNA.
Yeah.
That's the oil that's on my life. Because when God, I used to study for, I don't know how you minister now, but I used to search for a word. I don't search for a word anymore. God give me, then I start researching.
Absolutely.
So God said, minister this. Research.
And I go,
and I go in.
Absolutely.
So if God didn't give me anything, y'all not getting nothing. You're not getting anything. But God has already downloaded in my spirit the word for the next season.
Right.
So we're in the book of Isaiah. I'm already in the next season because God said, next study this. And it wasn't God. Was that really you? Was it, something I ate yesterday or something? No. And so in doing that, people get a sense of how God is moving. And in a loud world.
Yeah.
In a loud world.
Everybody got an opinion.
Everybody got an opinion.
Everybody got an opinion.
I have to teach my people how to trust the still voice. So that's sort of how I move.
How do you manage the anxiety of people running for the microphone? Right. Now I'm blessed not to have this problem. I have the opposite.
I don't have it either.
I got the problem where nobody want to preach. None of them want to preach. I try to get them up. Nobody want to do it.
Wow.
And I just see so many, like you said, and that's why I said, say it again. It's so loud now. Everybody,
loud, man.
Everybody has,
and
everybody got so much to say, man, but ain't really saying much of anything
at all.
And it's tough for pastors like us because we live in a space where we really wait for the download to be able to execute. And when it ain't flowery like what you see on social media, then it becomes contentious. Like it's like I had to break through this barrier of like self-control, like really getting the church to understand the value of self-control, right? And the first Sunday, ain't nobody really want to hear that. It wasn't too much dancing after that sermon, right? And we goes in, as you see, right? It wasn't too much dancing after that one. It was a quiet Sunday after that, right? And in my mind, I was getting ready, right? Right.
Get out the way.
And it's funny because I remember saying that Sunday, I'm glad y'all danced, because I'm sure ain't nobody gonna dance after this. I'm glad y'all got it out, right? And sure as I said what I said, not a soul danced when it was over, right? But the danger of that is if you are not connected to God, you will then alter what he's giving you.
You will alter.
Yeah. And so when I walked away, I'm like, man, I missed it. I didn't hear, I missed it. Like nobody responded to this. I think I missed this. On Monday, I had one message after the other.
Wow.
Really?
Pastor, that smacked me in my face. Pastor, I really needed to hear that. Pastor, that really blessed me.
Wow.
Pastor, that really challenged me. And it was that where I'm like, when God speaks,
Come on.
I have to follow what he says, even if I feel like that's not the season I'm supposed to be preaching in.
That's
Because
good.
self-discipline didn't make sense to me right there. I'm like,
that's right.
no, we on a trajectory of surviving right now. I don't need to be talking about discipline. I need to keep them together. I need to tell them be encouraged. And the Lord like, no, you need to tell them find discipline now. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, we in a good space, right? And it was like, man, can I lose people behind this? Like these are things pastors really think about. Like if I preach this, I know this person gonna be upset. I know this person gonna feel away, not knowing much of what we preach is what they really want.
Right.
Wow.
But I've learned is people really want instruction.
People
really
they
want
want
guidance.
instruction. Yes, they got guidance. Yes, instruction.
They want that.
Direction.
Yes. They love to jump and shout, but they really want guidance on how I should be living.
Right.
And that's why that trajectory of the downward slope is no longer working. Prosperity's not working no more.
Come on.
That gospel's not working no more. It's not working no more. Because everybody, if you look at these churches, it's a lot of empty seats in those balconies.
Absolutely.
And on that floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ain't nobody in there.
I can tell because they keep the camera on the front.
Right there.
It ain't panning no more.
It don't pan no more.
He zoomed in.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle.
Because to pastor's point, as the church evolves, things change, people fall off.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And so if I'm married to this voice and this voice is falling off, I'm going with that voice.
on.
Do you know some people will leave a church to follow a voice
Absolutely.
that you have worked for, that you have helped build? You will uproot
Yeah.
to follow a voice, not follow God. That is dangerous.
Man,
That's dangerous.
That is real.
It's
James,
dangerous.
you got something to say? This is
No,
real.
you go ahead. Go
All right.
ahead.
So that is that part of understanding ministry. So what I've learned to do now is you get to a place, and this is why I said about the musicians. You will, Craig, which means that you have simply saying that, cheekishly. I was saying people have seen you develop a music ministry.
for sure.
You know, one of the best in the city,
sure.
we could say.
For sure.
You know, and people follow you and faithful at it.
For sure.
We don't know how you figured it out, but you got it.
Yeah.
To God be glory.
Yeah.
I'm not envious of this. So what I do is I join appreciation ministry.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think everybody should join that ministry.
Appreciation ministry.
I am a part of, I signed myself up
sure.
to appreciation ministry.
I appreciate that.
I do. Yes, I
I
do.
appreciate that.
And in that sense, I have learned that when you handle people like this, and when you see how people are moving within the way that you then have to settle them down and teach them something in what you feel like is not the season for this.
Yeah.
But you still have to deliver
For
that
sure.
word. So now at this point, what I do is, as a pastor now, I've got myself to the place. As a pastor, I can tell the people, y'all ain't gonna like this. This is gonna be tough. And then I'll just use psychology and tell all of them, pray that God y'all pray for me.
Listen.
And pray that this word comes
Absolutely.
forth. And all I'm praying for me.
Yeah,
God,
for sure.
They sitting there crying.
For
Now,
sure.
don't know what I'm gonna say.
Right.
My
They
God.
go
Right.
in.
Right.
Y'all pray for y'all pastor. And they take 10 minutes and pray for me.
Yeah.
And then I go in and hit them with the word.
Yeah.
And then they can't say nothing because they just pray for me.
I'm gonna use that.
You
Pray for
can't-
me right now.
Yeah. You can't say anything because you prayed that
Yeah.
the Lord would give
Yeah.
this word.
For sure.
So it places a level of trust in the confidence.
For sure.
And so now they see this as okay. My thing is, when it comes down to a word of correction, the church as a culture must love, so that people out in the seats won't co-sign what the leader is giving. Because the worst thing to do is, you may got one or two in this church. Everybody got them.
Yeah.
You really throwing it out there, trying to tell everybody, hey, we got to go in. We got to make some changes here. Somebody, that's right, Pastor. Yeah. Like, hey, we need you to. We don't need you to co-sign this.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm talking about you.
You do. Yes,
That's
what I'm saying.
you the one I'm talking about.
We go to the same
You the loudest
church.
I'm talking to you.
We go to the same church, man. I swear.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what
For sure.
So there must be a culture of love in the house.
Yeah.
So now that if you were placing in a parental relationship, that the siblings would have to sort of console each other and reach out to each other.
Yeah.
Because that day the pastor's not going to get the warm hugs,
Yeah.
not going to get the handshake,
Yeah.
and may not get the offering.
Yeah.
But you got to deliver what the Lord is delivering to you. To God be glory.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt. So if there is love in the house
Yeah.
amongst the congregants,
Yep.
girl, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to be all right.
For sure.
We got to get it together.
Yeah.
We're going to be like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then someone would say, Pastor need a vacation.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? You know what?
Pastor needs he's
sick.
angry. Yeah,
He's sick. He needs some time off. Pastor,
you gonna get-
Pastor's sick. He needs some time off.
So you gonna get it comes with the territory.
Yeah, for sure.
It
For
goes
sure.
with the territory. But that's what I've heard to do. I just
Yeah.
preface,
Yeah.
those heavy words where
Yeah.
this is going to be a heavy word. Know that I love you. Know that I care.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to sort of modify the word.
Yeah.
So we have to frame the word to fit where the people are. And sometimes that means trimming the truth. We don't have to change it, but we're going to have to put a good shape up on this. And we have to trim the truth to fit where the people are. And that takes a level of studying and commitment to the word and not just throwing it out there because you can scar hearts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Damage people, especially people that was arguing on their way to church.
Yeah.
Had a hard week, come here for encouragement. So we got to find that balance as pastors so we'll be able to say, okay, this is coming from the Lord. And then I, Anthony Fliggins, incorporate myself in the word.
Yep.
Especially a hard word like that.
Yeah.
When a word come forth with correction, it's not y'all.
You must share.
It's us.
I say it all the time.
It's us. God
say it all
talking
the
to
time.
us.
I say it all the time.
And I ain't talking, it ain't.
Yes, sir.
It's us.
Yes, sir.
Anthony Fliggins too.
We.
It's we.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
for
is.
sure. No,
Go ahead, go for
listen.
it.
I agree, and I think for me,
And it is us.
heck yeah. What I've learned is like there's spaces where the intro is the way that I'm going to set the stage, right?
Okay.
And then I have something in my sermon where I always say, "All right, now let's go to the part that's going to challenge some of the areas of your
Okay.
life."
That's good.
That right there is like, okay, let me
brace yourself.
breathe.
Some
Because he
wisdom.
getting ready to say
Wisdom.
something
That's wisdom.
that's getting
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
to challenge me.
Absolutely.
But I never say, the reason that y'all have not accomplished this or the reason that y'all are struggling with this. I utilize the we, the us.
We, yeah.
The reason that many of us have struggled in this is because of this. The moment you include yourself in it, they no longer feel like outsiders.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
and it's
right.
like,
That's
well,
right.
dag, if my pastor is the one that struggled with this, well, pastor, you're right.
We can do this.
Yeah, we, right? And so it does take a level of wisdom to be able to effectively communicate that to the crowd. Also utilize something with leadership. I meet with leadership, at least once a month.
Okay.
To just communicate trends,
Nice.
hear how they feel.
Is that individually or group?
Nope, as a group, right?
Okay.
So I get all the leaders together. We get on Zoom.
Okay.
How you feel? What's going on with you?
Wow.
What do you see in ministry right now? How do you feel about ministry right now?
Good.
What do you think is going well?
Good.
Right? What do you think needs some improvement? And what you hear, it gets away from isolated, pointed fingers. It starts to be, I think, as leaders, we could be more cognizant of how we greet people. Beautiful. I think as leaders, we should communicate more across ministries. Because you got some people that work in dual ministries, right? And so, as leaders, I think we need to do a better job of this, right? And then it comes into the, I agree. Yep, I was thinking of that. Because 9 times out of 10, somebody is feeling the same way you feel.
Yeah.
And then somebody's feeling the same way you feel.
Yeah.
Right? But we're isolated, so nobody's saying anything.
Exactly.
And then when you bring everybody together, it's like, you know what, Anthony, I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
You know what, I was thinking the same thing, right? So giving them a space to communicate. And as leaders, I tell them all the time, you share across, you don't share down. Right? So in that
Say
space,
that again.
leaders, you share across, you don't share down.
What does that mean?
Because if you share down, now you're sharing down with the people that you have to lead. And the moment that you share down, now you
That's
become
good.
common.
Yeah.
And when you get up,
That's right.
now they got to look at you crazy.
Exactly.
Leaders listen.
Because
That's
you done
good.
shared down. You share across, right?
Not down.
Or you look up,
Up, yeah.
for guidance, right? And so that space for leaders is to give them a space to also communicate some of the frustrations that they may have, right? Or some things that they feel are not going well or would look to, look for potential changes. And so I believe leaders need a space because a lot of the weight is on leadership, right? Like when people don't want to give, leaders give. When people don't want to show up, leaders are always there, right? And so you have to give them a space where they feel that this is my opportunity to really express the heart of my ministry. And what I found out is it's not really complaining. It's really looking how to better, right? Or improve something. So I always use leadership time as a sacred time. And I don't even talk much. I just sit back. I go one at a time. I just let them communicate. I ask my secretary, admin, to write all the notes down. And then I take it back and I look at it, pray about it, and then look for different ways to insert the different things that they have communicated. It's important, right?
Yeah,
It's important for them to feel like I'm more than just a dollar sign.
Absolutely.
I'm more than just a
number.
faithful member,
That's right.
I actually have, some stake in this, and my voice actually matters. So it's worked for me.
That's excellent. Excellent. Anything, T?
I was wondering, so you said that some of the team may not be comfortable with preaching and things like that. What was their reason behind that, or how did you work through that strategy?
So
to motivate
it's
them?
always been a you want me to preach behind you, you're crazy. Right.
Okay.
So it's always that I'm blessed not to have a group of ministers that feel like they can do it better than the pastor.
Okay.
That's really difficult to guide through. I have a bunch of people that really want to learn.
Okay.
Right. And so I'm getting them to the place of being comfortable in their own style and their own Pastor, I don't close like you, but you're not supposed to. Right. Pastor, I don't introduce a text like you're not supposed to. Pastor, I'm not at the point where I can break down the text like that. That comes with time. Right. And so I'm blessed to have a group of people that are very reluctant to a microphone. They are more focused on what their hands can do to help somebody else.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
That's
a blessing.
Yeah. Listen,
And I have.
I mean, in the summer, I typically take a month off. it's the month that I hear complaining all week. Oh my God, it's my week. Oh, Pastor, why you couldn't preach? Oh, right, because I really, but I really enjoy the preachers in the church. I get a lot from them. I love their own unique styles. I love their own unique presentations. I'm always interested in how people see the text. You know, one of the reasons I watch him on Sunday mornings, I'm always intrigued by how he views, you know, or comes from a lens of the text.
Yeah.
You know, Prophet Johnson is another one. I'm always intrigued. Like Sunday, I posted it. Sunday, he put on an exegetical masterclass on Sunday.
Right.
Like that was, I was like, this is masterful right now. And I appreciate that because I know how much goes into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, people will just see the ending of it.
Yeah.
They'll see you jumping the whole church and don't understand how you had to pray,
Exactly.
how you had to research, how you had to find the pieces, you know, how you had to find scriptures to marry them together. They're just grateful for the end of it. And then me, I'm like, yo, that was insane
Right.
how he did that, right? And so, you know, it's a space where I'm always encouraging them to, you know, really become comfortable in who you, don't try to be like me.
Right.
Like Pastor said, I'm a very old school,
Yes.
hardcore, sweating. If you ain't sweating, you ain't preaching. If you ain't growling to close that sermon, you ain't preach nothing. If you ain't changed no keys, you ain't preach. But that's me though,
Yeah,
right?
that's you, yeah.
But I appreciate the teacher.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate the prophet. I appreciate the evangelist.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fivefold because they all matter.
Absolutely.
It's just my method is what brings me comfort and joy. It's something I've always enjoyed about preaching. There's nothing like a preacher that's sweating and destroying the church, right? Like just destroying it at the end. I live for that, but I can also be very attentive to a teacher. Right. I can be attentive to someone that can speak the word as opposed to, you know, being aggressive in their presentation. And so that's the part of it.
Biggest challenge, brother. My brother, biggest challenge. As a man, as a pastor man,
Yeah.
as a man pastor,
Yeah. Yeah.
biggest challenge.
My biggest challenge before my relationship was being able to balance and understand support from attraction.
Let's hear it.
Right? Being able to understand, do people really want my support? Or are you using support as a byproduct to capture my attention? And because my heart is big, I'll miss a lot of cues. Because if you come to me about something, I'm going to give you my time. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not going to let your hand go until, you know, I see that you can stand on your own. But then I started to realize this holding his hand wasn't about getting through my circumstance. This holding my hand was really because you wanted to hold my hand.
Yeah.
That's a snake.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's a snake.
For sure.
It produces two ways.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm studying something called snake sense.
Okay.
And snakes have two penises. So when they impregnate one, they can go and impregnate another. Snakes have two.
I didn't know that.
Me either.
And so if you put a snake in fire,
Yeah.
you'll see stick out, and people call them legs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
If you take a snake and put a snake in heat or in fire, the penises in the snake, it's called the peni, will stick out. It's because you produce over here. And whatever you didn't get done over here,
I can get done over here.
you can get.
Wow.
So people have this snake sense. They snakes. They support here. Hold my hand here. But hold my hand there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Grab my hand
Yeah.
here.
At that part.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
Yeah.
But hold my hand there.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And holding hands over here leads to holding other things over here
Yeah.
while you holding hands. And so you have to be careful to navigate your way through, again, support and attraction.
Absolutely.
And you got a big heart.
Yeah.
This is real. I just wanted to give a little context to what you're saying, but you're helping somebody, so go for it. Sir.
Yeah, it's you really have to be mindful and understand that your support comes with boundaries.
Absolutely.
Good.
Like my support, like this is where it ends, right? And so what I did was, once I felt like the support was going past what I could do, now let me find a member that I can hand you off to, right? Now let me put you in the arms of somebody that can carry you the rest of the way.
Exactly.
Right? Because I've reached my limit. Absolutely. Like this is as far as I can go, and I can't go past this because now the lines get skewed. Right? And now communication is no longer lawful.
Yeah.
Right? And now the thoughts become thoughts that are irregular and shouldn't be.
You're helping somebody. You're helping somebody.
Right. And so you but you have to be honest and start to understand, like, okay, hold on. This ain't navigating the right way. Actually, I've gone as far as I can. So what I'm going to do is Pastor Fliggins, he's going to contact you, right? And he's going to guide you the rest of the way. I'm not throwing it off on somebody, but I'm putting you in a place where you can get the support you need, because the support from me is no longer about
Absolutely
me.
Not.
Now it's become personal.
Something else. It's something else.
That's where the turn, and that's where a lot of pastors get messed up.
Yes.
So a lot of pastors get messed up.
Yes.
Right? It's you find yourself with the right intention.
Yes.
But then you have the right intention with someone that has the wrong motive.
Exactly. It's the motive.
And when the motive that is wrong meets your right intention, now you have indestructible communication and activity. Right? And you see it prevalent in high places. High places. It's nonstop.
And it's never going to end.
No.
And it's always so when the leader gets in this position, and when the leader has to sort of say, okay, this is one of the challenges in the ministry. This is one of the oldest challenges in ministry. Every leader then gives a piece that help out those who are coming behind them to grab the information, the knowledge, to grab something from it so they can be better and they won't fall into the same traps.
For sure.
But we will never put a button on this.
Yeah.
We will never put a button because the social body is going to bring what it's going to bring. It's going to do what it's going to do. And so we have to sort of get a clear understanding of what's going on so that we don't fall into the same things. You have people who come to you like this who have a different mentality than yours, and a different upbringing, and a different way of thinking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And a different, you get what I'm saying?
For sure.
And they violate purpose.
Yeah.
So how do I handle this? Right? How do I handle this?
Yeah.
Situations like this.
Yeah.
I'm a principal man.
Yeah.
I'm a principal man.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I cannot understand how can two people walk into a room and then they do whatever they do consensually, and then they walk out and the whole world know. What was the sin? The sin is you violated prophecy.
Yeah.
Because now everyone knows. Both of y'all walked in. Y'all didn't bring the world in.
That's right.
Y'all didn't bring a camera in. Well, some of y'all did bring cameras in.
Yeah, some of them did.
Some people
but
did.
people can't. And we look at this like Pastor Fliggins, you're giving loopholes. No, I'm not. Because even married couples do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all go in and y'all made that vow and come out, and now in the barbershop and the beauty salon,
Everybody knows.
Your mama know,
Everybody
your kids
knows.
know,
Everybody
the nephew
knows.
know, the neighbor knows.
Everybody know.
So this goes across the board.
Yes.
And when you violate purpose, there is no way to go. There is nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so when we walk in like this, the deal is you were not mature enough to handle this. You were not mature enough to go into this situation. You wasn't mature enough to hold my hand.
Yeah.
You were so immature that even if it started off innocent, your immaturity, you fell in love with the anointing.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's
you
what
fell
it
in
is.
love with
It's
the
attractive.
power.
That's what it is.
You fell in love
That's
with the
what
glory.
it is.
Yeah.
People
It's
are
attractive.
infatuated with the pulpit.
Yes.
As soon as they see the other side,
Sure.
Right.
as soon as they find out that, wait a minute, there's some scars, there's some flaws, there's some stuff here. It's not you. You walked in the wrong way because you walked in with the wrong mindset.
That's right.
You weren't prepared to walk in the beginning.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's my point.
Absolutely.
The point wasn't that they held the hand or they were trying.
Right.
You wasn't ready to hold that hand.
For sure. For sure. Absolutely.
No. And so now the pastor has to now look and say, okay, everybody just can't handle me.
No.
No. I mean, I wish everybody would think like that.
No.
But no, everybody cannot handle me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be serious. I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm not saying anything like that. But I am saying it is my job to protect this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is my job and it's my right
Yes.
to protect this. It is my obligation to protect this. It is my duty to protect this.
Yeah.
And if I have sown sweat, blood, money, traveling, all these things into this, and then you're going to let someone who doesn't understand what this is come on to, yes, there's a possibility you can damage the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And so you have to value people that are around you. They can say, hold up, not so. Again, put boundaries in place. This is why the Garden of Eden is a garden, but it's a walled garden. It is a wall. It's just not. You ain't no open air. How do you know? Because you had to go back in through the mouth of the garden to go back in, which means that there were boundaries around the garden.
For sure.
You can't just walk back in north, east, south, and west. No,
For sure.
Come on.
it's a walled garden. So you just can't just walk back in. And we need to treat ministers need to treat themselves as such.
Yeah. I think, the part that becomes challenging is many of the connections start off pure because of what they're missing, right? And so many people don't have a father, right? Many people have had bad relationships. Many people have not seen people of integrity.
Exactly.
And so that's the initial attraction, right? This is somebody that is integral. I can trust somebody, right? And so it begins
And they can
there.
talk.
And they can talk.
Look, brother, I ain't cutting you off. But if a woman hears what I mean, yo, hey, y'all, what's up,
All
y'all?
the
Like,
time.
I mean, y'all, I mean, say, I'm saying, y'all, I'm saying, shorty, y'all, I'm saying, shorty, I like you, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all want to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got a man that says he would talk.
Right.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You done.
Yeah.
Big difference.
You done.
Right? Communication.
Big difference.
Can carry a sentence.
And
What?
communication can change the
Punctuation.
nation.
Punctuation.
Can,
Pause at the right time.
ain't you so good? My God. Sorry. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. You gotta. It's a big difference.
All right, we
so-
finished laughing. Go ahead, Doc.
And so
I'm
it's
playing
that,
so much, man.
it's that part
Real.
where, people have to understand, like, even if you can't see, you need somebody that can see. You need somebody that can say,
That's what I was about to say.
hey, Pastor, listen,
Yep.
I know your intention, but I know what I see.
Yeah.
And you need to,
Absolutely.
and that's what the old mothers had.
Yeah.
But why is the pastor's awareness not heightened to that? Not all pastors, just in general. Like, why is there not heightened awareness?
So I know for me, and it's funny because me and Kendra would have this conversation all the time. She would say, "You just don't see it." I'm like, "Nah, I don't see it."
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like my intentions are pure,
Right, exactly.
And so I'm not thinking anybody
somebody's
is
trying- right.
like that's insane to me, right? Like that makes no sense to me. And so you go into it, right? like you go into it with the intention of this is what they need, this is what I'm going to provide,
Yes.
and I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of anything else,
Right. Like,
right?
you want to go to the movies after this.
Right, and it's like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah, like, we not doing that.
Like this ain't that, right? And so but now I have become more cognizant, and I listen early. Like,
Good.
what are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
Exactly. That's
If you
good.
can't tell me what your end goal is, then you don't need to communicate with me,
No.
because this not really about an end goal.
No.
This really about trying to figure out who I am.
Exactly.
Right? If you can't give me calculated steps on what you're going to use to get to the next level, even if you don't have the fulfillment of it, if you have a script, I can help you fill it in. If I know that's something, right?
Okay.
I know that's something that you're trying to do. If you just, I really don't know. Well, great. When you find out, you should call me back.
Exactly.
Because right now I don't know either.
And this is who you should call.
And this is who you should call.
That's good. That's good.
That's
Yes, because
excellent.
KDT has to stand.
Oh, it has to.
KDT must continue to move forward.
Absolutely.
So that's your biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Greatest success.
My greatest success has been being able to help them understand the value of greatness coexisting.
Well, say it again.
What my greatest success has been being able to help them understand the value of greatness coexisting. Let me tell you when the music ministry really took off. I had 2 anointed people that was like oil and water. Like Lauren and Calvin is like oil and water, right? Like they are just opposites. They are opposites on every end of the spectrum.
Wow.
But arguably 2 of the most anointed praise and worship leaders in this city. And they just could not get along. Like could not. And they laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Because they're like thick as thieves now. They could not get along. They couldn't stand each other. And I said to them one day, I'm sick of both of y'all. I'm sick of you and I'm sick of you. Right? And I said, y'all gonna figure it out. Because you have to learn how to work with other great entities. One took time off, one continued to work. When one took time off, she was able to view and see how her inability to get along with someone was hindering the ministry. Right? And so the ministry was still going, but there's loopholes because of you. Can't blame nobody now. You sat down with your gift.
Right.
Now the church is struggling because your gift is supposed to be plugging that hole right there. They sat down, had a conversation, was honest, and literally from there, the music ministry just ballooned.
Wow.
Right? Helping them understand there's a great piece right here. There's a great piece right here. If we're going to go from good to great, we have to put it together. I think people are satisfied with being good. But how do you get to being great? I have to look at the other important pieces and not say, how do they fit to me? How do I fit to them? That's the part where I feel we miss it in the church. It's like, oh, well, I'm this, so everybody got to adapt to me. No. How do you adapt to the other great gifts that you have? What are you willing to take down that somebody does better than you? What?
Why is everything quiet? Like they quiet on here, they quiet on here. Everything, everything is quiet.
Yeah, because
they have no understanding of what's this. But this is it.
This is it. This is what we're missing. This is the church, right? How do we?
That's how the Lord is speaking.
How do we?
How do we keep quiet?
How do we fit this to make it work? Right? When I came today, I didn't come with my mindset. It's like, how do I fit into what they do?
Right.
Like, let me listen and figure out where I fit in this. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to be productive. It's not about Pastor Craig was on the show.
Right.
It was about, did you see that show that they did? Oh my goodness. Did you? It's about that, right? And so I'm trying to get them to understand it's not about your individual accolades. It's about how everybody is blessed from the group.
Excellent.
And so that is the piece that the church hasn't figured out yet.
This is true, and this is true.
They haven't figured it out, bro.
You know what I think? You know what I think I need. Do you know what I think the church needs? Some more anointed number 2s.
I agree.
Because unless you were an anointed number 2, you could not.
It can't be a 1.
Figure that out.
You can't.
Yeah.
To figure out the issue is that 2 leaders in a position can. I used to often say that this house was full of prophets. This and that and this and that, because all of you have a different demographic and a different purpose. But we can't exist here. This 30 by 30 room, because at some point you say, okay, we got to figure this out here, or else we're going to crumble from within. We're going to implode before we explode. We're going to tear ourselves down, and all of a sudden you got people who are in ministry who feel like they are the only ones that can do that. Like, wait a minute, you're not losing anything. You're not losing anything. So submit, fit, find out, figure it out, get in, see how you move. Get out the way a little bit.
Surrender.
Move to the side. I guarantee you it's going to bless your ministry. It is going to help you out.
That's why the church has no balance.
It doesn't have balance.
You know why the church is leaning?
Go ahead.
Because we're top heavy.
Top heavy.
top heavy. Right? We got no support down bottom.
Top heavy.
We don't got nobody that want to sweep the floor. We don't got nobody want to open the door.
Yeah.
We don't got nobody want to wipe the windows down.
Yeah.
We got nobody want to clean the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody want to be at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so the church is leaning.
That's right.
Because it has no stability.
That's right. And the head is already big. His name is Jesus.
Hello.
So you get what I'm
Hello.
saying?
Hello.
He's already got that.
It don't get no bigger than that. I mean, yeah. It don't get no bigger than that.
Man, where is you go ahead, Tim?
Oh, go ahead.
Where is KDT going?
Man, you know.
Where is this? Where is
man.
Where is this ministry going? Like where are we? Where is K? We got a lot about the man. We know who you are based upon what you share.
Yeah.
So you kind of frame the kind of leader that you were.
Yep.
So the reason this podcast, PAStour, come along is because that it is. I wanted people to hear the pastor's mind.
Yeah.
Our hearts bleed.
Yeah.
They don't often get to hear what's upstairs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is what God and I,
Sure.
you and God, you and the Spirit deals with some of the questions that you have when you're laying down, when you're getting ready, when you're in your office, when you're sitting down, when you get what I'm saying. So I started this.
Yeah.
So the pastor's mind
Yeah.
was in the head of the pastor can be sort of platformed and plateaued.
It's an amazing outlet.
And yes, and sort of become a place where the people can hear. That's the kind of leader I want to sit with.
Yeah.
That's the kind of man I want to sit under. That's the kind of woman and that's why I brought this platform here.
Yeah.
This PAStour is about the mind of the pastor. Because when I hear what's on his mind, okay, I can. That's why they do what they do.
Yeah.
And that's why this platform is
For sure.
here.
For sure.
Where is KDT? Kingdom
Yeah.
Deliverance Tabernacle. Where is this ministry going?
You know, this ministry now is really moving in a space of capturing what's been dropped. And so the nets are back out for KDT. Now we're not looking for the church people anymore. I'm looking for the people that really don't understand who God is and how much God really loves them. You can become a great leader over time, right? You can if you remain connected enough, there's a level of anointing that will fall on your life for you to be able to operate. I think we have enough people operating in church who's operating with the heart.
Okay.
And so I'm looking to really get to the heart of the matter of people. Why don't you come to church? Why are you offended? What offended you? Who told you you had to come to church with a hat on? Who told you had to come with high heels and makeup? Who told you that? Who told you that he could only use you if you came from a family of preachers? Who told you that? Who told you that your anointing is only based on whose name you can call and whose name you can drop? Who told you that?
Yeah.
Right? And so really being able to capture people that really love God but feel like they don't fit. Isn't it crazy that the house of God is for everybody and people feel like they don't fit? How is that possible?
Absolutely.
If it's for everybody, what makes me feel like something that is for me and free,
Yes.
I don't fit? That's crazy.
Doesn't make sense.
That's crazy. We're trying to get members
Yep.
and not understanding you got people that believe they don't fit.
Yeah.
Come on, Flick.
Yes, right.
Like if you look through the scripture, he dealt with people that were outcasts.
Yeah.
So why do outcasts feel like after the example that they see in the scripture, I don't fit?
I don't belong. Yes.
How? How is that? How do we sleep at night? How do we shout knowing there's a nation of people that believe that I don't fit into that?
Yes.
And so now I'm focused on creating a pathway for those that are not churched.
Okay.
But see, I can go to this though, because this works for me too. It's not and or.
Right.
This is two now. Right? I think we've done and or enough.
Okay.
Follow my rules and or.
Yeah.
Come from this and or. You have to be in this stock and or.
Okay.
No. Come in because you matter too. Come here because God loves you too. Come here because you have purpose too. We have to get from and or to two. There's a nation that is wasted right now because they're looking at the and or and saying I don't fit.
Okay.
My resume and my life don't fit that. Because I've been a drug addict, I've been a thief, I've been a liar, I've been an adulterer. So I don't fit that.
Right.
That what they doing, I don't fit that. But we're not honest enough to say we were liars too.
Yeah.
We were adulterers. We stole.
All of it,
We
yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
like
Liars, steal,
stealing, steal,
steal,
adultery,
Just
steal, right?
Look at two.
Still, right? And so understanding like that too is the pathway, right? The pathway from to.
So that's where KDT is.
Yeah.
Is that I play devil's advocate a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that where KDT is, or was that where William Craig is?
That's what KDT is.
KDT
You know,
is
that
a whole.
we-
So they know this
and
vision. They know.
and
that
it took and I had to sit them down and I had to
That's where-
redo
that's where
it.
I was going. That's where I'm
had to
going.
redo it.
See,
Had to
see,
redo it.
you know
Had
where
to
I'm going.
had to redo it all over. You know, it was like a hey, we've reached this plateau. This part of the vision we've reached.
Yeah.
We've reached that
I
part.
know exactly what you're
right?
saying.
And it's early. So we've reached this. So let's revamp what this vision
Where
looks
do we
like
go from
now.
here? That's right.
And I sat down with the leaders first. I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I want your input. You know, I think of this. I think of that. I think of this. I think of that. Great. We're going to put it all together. And now we're going to create the new vision for where we're going.
To God be glory.
And the basis of it was getting people from to,
Got it.
you know, from that space of brokenness to being healed. From that place of being lonely to a place of feeling supported, you know. And the only way you do that is going to get your hands dirty. Got to roll your sleeves up.
Yeah.
Got to roll your sleeves up, right? They're not going to smell like you. They're not going to look like you. They're not going to talk like you. I say it all the time. They ain't going to dance like you. I got some people that come. I said, I know you don't know how I dance. Hold your hand on the back of that chair and just move your feet and figure it out. And what you see is eventually they find their niche and their
rhythm, that's
method
right.
and their rhythm,
That's right.
you know, and then they're able to find the space. And it's like the light bulb was going off in people's mind. Like, oh man, I got people that travel all the way from Trenton, New Jersey. I have members that were members in New York, in New Jersey, and Philadelphia
Wow.
that have traveled here. Some have moved here, right? And so you don't get that type of commitment and elongated, you know, spaces of travel unless you have something that feeds me every week.
That is a lot because it is. I often ask, what's our time today? Because this is good.
We good.
We good?
Yeah, we good.
Are we good?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Also, I'm playing devil's advocate again.
Yeah.
I respect everything you're saying, and I appreciate your ministry.
Sure.
I bought a 2007 and a 2011 Mercedes.
Okay.
I teach me, R300, and R350. And you did my research on it. When I did my research on it, they said this was the best car Mercedes made, but it didn't sell. And the reason why it didn't sell was because people didn't know if it was a sedan, an SUV, or a sedan, an SUV, or a station wagon. And so it didn't sell because people didn't know what it was.
The description.
They couldn't figure out.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? And so, excellent car.
Yeah.
So when I went to sell the car, every mechanic says, please don't sell the car. Like, just try to keep it.
Yeah.
And if you do sell it to me. You know?
Yeah.
And they said that was one of Mercedes' best made cars.
Sure.
But it didn't do well because people didn't know. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Couldn't place it in the
When
category.
you say the two, and you really saying people come in as they are, they come in and get delivered, they come in and get this, but we really are rebranding. When people come to the church, what are they seeing if they're not seeing what KDT is or what KTT represents? Or they see a certain style or a certain thing they can connect with. If I'm bringing in so many different pieces, saying all these pieces belong here, then how do I then brand the ministry that says this ministry fits this kind, this type, this way. We do it like this. How?
I think it's a great question. You know, I have people that I call point people, right? And so anytime a new person comes, I know I have someone in there that has their background. And so I attach them to the person of their background, right? And so if I'm going to call some names, so if y'all won't hear, y'all just bear with me. If I know somebody has a strong personality, then I'll send them to Missionary Davis, because Missionary Davis had a very strong personality when she came to the church. And in her transformation, the Lord settled that, but it was something that I saw her develop into. And so now she's attracted to people that she see come in with what she used to be, right? When I look at people that have had, you know, people that suffer from low self-esteem, I'll always guide them to Elder Kendra, you know, because she has a suicide awareness program, but also that was something that she has verbally said the Lord has helped her from and gotten her from, right? When I look at people that have gifts but don't really know how to navigate them. I say it all the time. They're a creator of many and a master of none. I always send them over to the executive pastor to teach them how to organize and how to do one thing at a time, right? When people are in between, you know, how do I want to dress and what do I really want to look like? Then I send them to Elder Tillman, right? Fashion is his thing. And so he knows how to make it work while it still looks church appropriate, right? And so being able to find people that are inside of the ministry that once looked like that, you connect them to a source that's able to understand their mind and how it works. Good. And slowly guide them into where you want to get them from, right? I have something, I do something in the summer. It's called Unity Month. Okay. I got it from the school, and I do it every year in my school. And Unity Month is, you know, every Sunday in the month, we do one theme Sunday. So we do Crazy Sock Day, we do Twin Day, we do, you know, Monochromatic Day, right? What like one of those days.
Yeah, it's good.
And the reason I do it is because I want to give the people that may not have the church attire right now a space to feel like I can just be myself and I'm not going to stand out. Right now we have seasons where we go back into dress up church attire, right? And people still come in sweatsuits. Some people still come in jeans. Some people still come, you know, in regular clothes, but they don't feel like outcasts because I've had my time and space to have my moment where it's dressed down. And now I'm in a space where we're back in attire, but now they become curious.
Okay.
Where did you get this dress from?
Right.
And how do you dress like that? Right. And so the transformation comes without communication because now the example is the thing that they see.
Got it.
And so if pastor is dressed, now listen, don't nobody love a pair of sneakers and jeans but me, right? They will tell you, if I could dress down every Sunday, I promise you I would do it. But what I learned was if I wanted the men to be dressed appropriately, who's their example? I'm still their pastor, so I need to put a suit on, right? If I want the women to be dressed appropriately, who am I communicating that through, right? And so my church mothers, you know, women, these are the stockings you should wear, right? This is appropriate for this season. This is appropriate for that. And so when you put it in a space of, and it's all embodied in community, right? As a community, this is what we do, branding.
Yes,
right?
As
a community, this is how we do it here. This is why we do it here, right? And this is the method by which it can be done. And if by chance you're not there yet, we have people that can help you until you get there.
Got it.
And so there's a method and putting a requirement in place without people feeling bullied.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
They
okay.
like they want to be
Okay.
compliant.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh man, this is what we do.
Right.
Oh man, this is I said for my anniversary. Come on, y'all, we gonna get dressed. It's not change your clothes. It's oh man, we getting dressed with
Get
pastor.
dressed, right.
It's all in how you message it. I tell them during the summer, that's dress down season. If Jesus was here, you need to have on what Jesus would say was appropriate. But it's dress down season.
Okay.
Right? And so, and I told him, I said, the one time I see something that's offensive, then dress down season is over for everybody. Now you got your brothers and sisters like, that look a little short. You might
Right.
want to put on something else.
Exactly.
Because if we lose dress down because of you, I'm gonna be upset. Right? And so I use a lot of what I use in education
Yes, that's what it
in
sounds
the
like.
church because it works.
Right.
It works for me. It works, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people, I get this question all the time, like, how do you do it? And I literally give people the tools that I use. You can get people to do anything if they feel like it has a purpose to it. I think just back in our day, you put it on because that's what they said put on.
Yeah,
Right.
period.
You didn't ask no question.
That's it.
Yeah, put on. If they said put on white, you put on white.
That's right.
It didn't have it. Well,
It didn't have to even have to be clean.
It didn't have to be clean. Put it on. We said white. That put it on, right? And if you didn't, you was rebuked.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do was have a standard, but I wanted a standard to be something that people felt like had value to them and had value to the church.
Are you still framing this, or have you perfected this?
I'm still working through it.
You're still
bro.
working through it, right?
I'm still
It
working through it
sounds
because
like
there's so many.
It is
It's
so many nuances to
yeah,
this.
man,
This
it's
is-
a lot to
this
it.
is
man.
moving. This is
It's
moving
like,
ministry
It's like
here.
as I go, it's like oh,
see this.
and then I'm gonna do this
Yeah,
piece, and
it's
oh
right.
man, and then I can do it. It's always a way, and we've come a long
It sounds
way
just like it,
from
Doc.
when we start. Like when I started, it was like know this, know that, know this, know that, know that, right? And we was going to the church like checking people outfits, like,
Right.
like what you got on there,
Right.
right? And then from there, what I learned was clear communication eliminates the gray.
Beautiful.
And so what does dress down mean? Why?
Right.
What's the purpose of it? Why are we doing it? Right? Because why we have different seasons of dress.
Yeah.
What's the motive behind that? What is that for? Right? And so helping them understand that, dress down season is a space where we have a lot of visitors. That's the time we do Family and Friends Day. That's the time
Yeah.
we do Pack a Pew Day.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the time we do Bring a Friend to Church Day, right? And so your friends probably don't dress like us. And so if they see you like them, I just need you to get them here.
Right.
Once you get them here,
Yeah.
God can clean them up and do whatever else needs to be done. And so utilizing that method, to find a different space for discipleship. My motive behind it was being creative in discipleship. Because
Your motive behind it. So your motive behind this was being creative in discipleship. Okay.
that my motive for dress down and different themes was to find a way to really be able to capture people's attention.
If I was on CNN and if I wanted to be a pundit, it would sound like your motive was I'm keep playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
at
for
least
sure.
another 10
I love
minutes,
it.
man. All right. I would think your motive would be to target a generation. But I'm not on CNN. And I'm on,
But the interesting part is,
So I'm not,
I don't.
Is it that? Are you
It's
trying to
not because
target-
I don't just get a generation. I have
Let's
so
hear it.
many different
Let's hear it.
generations in
Let's
the
hear
church.
it.
I
Let's hear
have
it.
I have seasoned saints. I have saints that are
See the Saints wear sketches, right?
come on here, and they slides
Knew
on
what
Sunday,
they said.
and they slides on Sunday,
And knew
right?
wear Jordans
and then,
and J's.
and then in the summer they still wear stockings. That's
With
the
the
season.
sketches.
That's the season. That's they dress down. They dress down as no heels in the summer.
Right. Exactly.
Go for it, preacher.
And so I have that generation that is very seasoned. I have that generation that is like kind of in the space of like, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm really here to just like live out the rest of this Christian walk. You know what I mean? And then you have the generation that I fall in, that generation that are now the workers. They were the ones that
right.
were the observers. They're
Now
the
they
drivers now, right? They're the ones that driving it. And then you have that generation behind them that are now this is the generation that I feel like dress down works for. So I think this is what you're saying. I think this. So the dress down typically works for the generation that loves God but doesn't want to get dressed up because they don't. What's the point? Right? If I see this on, if I see this about this pastor or this church person off a blogger every week, why I gotta get dressed? What's the point?
Right.
Because they get dressed and they doing this, and so you got to fight through that.
Yeah.
Right. And so you got to get them in and get them invested. Once you get them invested, then the transition now becomes, oh, I want to do this too.
Got it. The two.
Not opposed to the and/or. Right. And so
It's two also.
Two. It's two also.
As well.
As well. I wouldn't say also.
But you can say
I would say as well. But the and/or is the space
that you're eliminating.
It's a space where people they hit the brick wall because it's like, because here's my thing: what if and/or doesn't exist?
That's good.
Right? What if I come to Court of Christ and there's a two, but there is no and/or? I have to subscribe to that.
Got it.
Right? And people only subscribe to what the expectation is. I say all the time, people don't do what you suspect, they do what you inspect. And so if I'm not inspecting what the two is, then and/or becomes my own option. And that's where you get people that become pew pastors. That's the development of pew pastors right there. When there is no two explicitly, and/or now becomes an option.
Got it.
So it goes from, oh, yeah, he said we should get dressed, and, if you don't really feel like it, then don't really worry about it because he really not going to check. No way.
Yeah.
Whereas the two is, this is what pastor expects, and this is what we should be doing.
Got it.
But if it's not communicated, listen, the and/or is a very dangerous place.
I see you keep going there.
Listen to me, bro. It is a dangerous place.
Okay, so it's a dangerous place for you. Got something to tell you?
No, I'm listening to
pastors
what
are thinking
the
now,
and/or,
man. We getting man. So the and/or is a dangerous place. It is a dangerous place for the body of Christ.
Absolutely.
For the church. That's what you're saying.
Body of Christ.
The body of Christ. The and/or is a dangerous place.
There are expectations inside of God's house that are non-negotiable. And the moment that we make them and/or is the moment that we have the biggest fight in the church.
Well, so you use the word non-negotiable. And I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
All those things that are non-negotiable, non-biblical.
Prayer is non-biblical?
No.
Yeah. If prayer is at 1:30, why are you showing up at 1:35? Prayer is at 1:30. It's non-negotiable. If you're a leader, you're supposed to be in prayer at 1:30. 1:35 don't work.
Okay.
Prayer time is 1:30.
Okay.
1:35 becomes and/or.
Okay.
I could come at 1:30 or I could be here by 1:35. It's 5 minutes. What's the big difference? The big difference is the two was 1:30. That's the expectation.
Okay.
Non-negotiable. Right? Non-negotiable. You can't have a say in what your money does not help build. You're not a tithe payer. You don't give in here. I'm not listening to your advice or what you think.
Easy, man. You got people listening.
Not doing it.
People listening. But that's good. I know, yeah, it's good.
Right? I'm going.
I do the same thing. That's why
I'm going to give the 5.
That's good.
Or I may not give anything because, I got other stuff I want to do.
Okay.
Expectation is we tithe in here. We tithe in here.
And they the same ones that burn the rug, man. They will cut the rug up. They love the musicians and everything else. We give you $5.
You love this band,
and they love the band. Give you $5. This what I'm saying, and then show themselves that evening at Ruth Chris.
My God.
If the expectation
After they dance,
if the expectation of greeters is you greet everybody with a hello and welcome to Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle, why did you skip 3 people and let them walk in? That's and or.
That's good.
I'll greet you.
That's good.
And or I may just let you walk by.
That's good.
Because you don't look like you want to be talked to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes all I need is a good morning, welcome to KDT. That'll change my whole attitude.
That's right. That's right.
But if it's not the 2 and it's the and or, then I'm going to choose what I do.
Got it. So that is a standard, and that is the standard in the leadership.
Yes.
And that's what you're setting through the church.
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
I tell people you can't speak in tongues and not speak to people. So be quiet. Don't you speak in another tongue until you can speak to the 3 people that walked by you and you did not open your mouth to.
And you still got members?
They still there.
I know.
Still there. Still there. Right? Because again, creativity, right? I put it in sermons. I say things like, you know what often confuses me? Right. When you do it like you know, church. What often amazes me is how we speak in tongues, but we don't speak to people.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see the illumination, like, oh man, that's me.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, and whether it's intentional or not, when you see people, you speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you enter a room, you speak to people.
Yes.
Right? You don't enter a room and say, I've arrived.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you enter, hello, everyone.
That's right.
Right. And so I think it's that space of
non-negotiable.
Leaders speak first.
Come on.
Right.
Leaders speak first. Don't wait nobody to say, they ain't say hi to me. Your leader, you speak first.
And when I
Yeah.
get guests,
like
I'll ask them. Like, I'm like, visitors, raise your hand. Did somebody speak to you today?
Good.
And they'll look and say,
good.
yes.
Good.
Right? Because it's the inspection.
That's right.
It's
That's
the
the
inspection.
guide.
Like
That's
like the
right.
leaders know, if his visitors here, he's going to ask if somebody spoke to them today.
Man, this is interesting.
Non-negotiable.
This is
I love
interesting.
it,
So
yeah.
what do you? One more question. One more question on this.
Yeah,
one.
yeah, go
this
ahead.
is good.
Yeah.
What do you tolerate? Where's the wiggle room? What's the space? Where's the patience? Where's the wilderness? Where's the people that?
Yeah. So here's what I do tolerate. I am very tolerant to people that are in error and are able to acknowledge it. And so I'm very tolerant to people that can say, yeah, Pastor, that was a bad move on my part. I dropped that right there. That was a space where I wasn't my best self, right? Or just honesty. Yeah, Pastor, I was kind of snappy because their attitude was snappy.
So you will tolerate that.
And so I will, because
Got
it gives me, if you're willing to be honest, you're willing to be receptive to my feedback. If you feel like you have to lie to me, then that means that you're not willing to hear what I have to say.
Got it.
Right? If you're willing to say, Pastor, you know what, it was me, it wasn't them. Okay, so understand, as a leader, when you come here, got to be on your A game. You got to pick that back up when you get out of here. Or if it's not the best day, then you got to tap somebody in on your team that can step in that moment right now, because it's not your best moment, right? And so when people are honest, I feel like it's always a teachable moment. When people are deceptive, their ears aren't open to your feedback.
I'm a teacher spirit. And so it's easy for me to tolerate a student. That when you're teaching and they don't get it,
Sure.
I can tolerate. Yes.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and go, and every member here knows, and they know I would talk to you for 4 hours, 3 hours. I can tolerate that. I just don't know. I would rather you tell me I do not know what I'm doing.
Oh, that too.
I would rather you say to me,
Yeah.
I have no clue. I say, thank you. Let's go.
Yep.
As opposed to saying, I got this when I know you don't know.
Yeah.
I would rather you say, I do not know.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers either, but what I do have is the foundation.
For sure.
So let's get started here.
For sure.
And I have your honesty.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's that part.
I have something to work with.
That's it.
Because if I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Go to them. Somebody calling about certain things. I don't know. You should. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
If you teach me, I will.
You teach me,
but I do not know. I have no problem with not knowing.
Sure.
But that's the spirit of a teacher that does not mind the student.
Yeah.
You give them that doesn't mind that. So I give space.
Yeah.
For those moments to teach, it brings out the best in me. It really brings out the best in both of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So that's what I sort of tolerate when I deal with people who are. I'm a principle man.
Yeah.
And so I give principles. And so the principles usually govern my life.
Sure.
And so I taught my members a long time ago, when people are off, not doing right, or we see them, I have a 3I test.
Yeah.
Ignorance, immaturity, or are they doing it intentional? Are you intentionally hurting somebody? Or are you doing it because you're immature? Or are you doing it because you're ignorant?
Right.
You do know a black sister can't hurt another black sister. Y'all come. You just ignorant in the fact that y'all just don't understand how this works.
Yeah.
Or you don't understand how leadership works in ministry.
A lot of people don't know how leadership
It works
in
in ministry. They
It's the
don't.
truth.
They don't
really-
know. They don't
Yeah.
know.
I agree.
And so now with that, I give space because now I understand. You just don't know how this works.
Yeah.
So
that's teachable though.
It's teachable.
right?
That's
It's like,
teachable.
and I think it speaks to the part that you said. It's the honesty part. You can be honest
As we
and
just
say
said.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
you said, yep.
right? Or honest and say, hey, I messed up.
Right.
That's a gateway for me to say, okay, so this is how we fix this.
I like
Right.
that. I like
Right?
that.
Not
I like
you,
that.
we.
We.
I like
This
that.
is how we fix it, and we're partnering to make it work.
To God be glory. So that's where KDT is going.
Yeah,
To God be glory.
that's where we're going.
See, is this method a part of the church growth?
It is. It's a part of the church growth. It's also a part of the church's ability to be sustained.
Is this philosophy yet? Has this become a philosophy in the ministry?
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
To God be glory.
it has. And it took a lot of feedback from leaders, right? It took a lot of, because sometimes as leaders, you can think you're clear, and people aren't clear on what you want.
I've been at
Right?
I've been at fault. For
And
that.
so I've it was, when we moved, I moved out. I don't think I've ever said this, but I think this is really going to bless somebody. When we moved from 1700, we moved because I was overly excited to give the people a bigger space. Watch this though. As a result of that, I didn't do my homework on a lot, and I didn't involve a lot of leadership in my decision to move. So when we moved, although we had a space, it was so many underlying factors that was frustrating us because I did not include, I just wanted the people to have something bigger that gave us more space to do the things that we wanted to do in ministry. Right intention, wrong time.
Wow.
Right? And it didn't fall on them. That fell on me as a leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it was this with the building, and then it was this with the building, and then we could have service this day, and then
Very
we
few
couldn't have
leaders-
service two weeks later, and
Very,
then
very
it
few
was the
leaders
flood,
respect
right?
this. Yeah,
and
yeah.
so, but when I looked at it, it wasn't the people, it was me. I didn't consider. I had somebody, executive pastor, he deals with property.
Right.
Why didn't I have him in there inspecting that to make sure everything, right? Because as a leader, sometimes all you can see is a vision.
That's right.
Right. And so I saw a room, I saw a vision, I saw a sanctuary, I just saw it all, right? I'm just excited. Oh, bathrooms can go here and class can go here and we can do this. And you see all of this. And when you have people that will follow you, they will acquiesce to what you're doing, even if they don't understand.
It's good.
And so what I had to do was had to double back and I had to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And they said, well, Pastor, I didn't understand this. And I didn't understand that. And I didn't know why we did this and we didn't do this. And I had to fall on that sword and accept that accountability, understanding that me being a visionary, it overtook my ability to utilize the parts that have made me a successful visionary.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can't, and even though you've made those, even though you said that was on you, you can't relive it.
No,
because you're at a different place.
Yeah,
and you can't fix it.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
That's it.
And what it did was,
that's it. You can't fix that.
It gave them.
Come on.
A great.
You at a different place. You at a different place. You at a different place.
The whole church changed.
That's right.
The moment I said,
"That's right,
church, this is on me," because not that they were upset, they were still there.
Right.
But they were frustrated. They were confused. They were annoyed.
Yeah.
And when it came out, it was like, man, I can follow you to the ends of the earth.
Because even though I'm in something like that in business now, and I had to call the lender, and I had to call the lender and just say these words. I know we've made some mistakes in my past, and it's the only thing I said, but I'm a better man now. So why should I trust you again? And all I said was, because I'm a better man now.
Sure.
He said, okay, sign the document.
There you go.
I'm just a better man.
There you go.
I have nothing to hide. I just made that mistake, but I'm a better man. And I'm probably a better man because of that. But I am a better man now.
Yeah.
You get to a point in ministry where you can't go back and fix what was, but you can be who you are at this present time.
Absolutely.
And then build upon that.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, from there, people were just like, Pastor, I want to work in this ministry. I want to do this. I want to do that. It was like everybody became motivated to work. And I was like, hey, I should have used all this.
I know. And guess what? Though? And the beauty of this is every Sunday, you don't have to go and defend yourself.
I don't.
You don't. You said it.
That was it.
Every Sunday.
That was it.
God is on me. And even though, you know what I'm saying? Devil meant it for evil, but God meant it for you ain't got to go through none of those scriptures.
None of that.
You cleared it.
None of that. That was it. That was it. That moment of transparency propelled the church into a state of stability.
To God be the glory.
If I was not honest,
God be the glory.
If I was not honest, many probably would have fell off in transition.
Wow.
And you be still trying to preach it now.
Still
trying to preach it.
Still trying to get it back. Definitely, there's a level of
double for my
listen, the Lord gonna make a way. The Lord give it and the Lord take it away. We try to use that scripture to make it fit. No, that don't work. That was your doing. I think what it showed me was the beauty of transparency, and that leaders really need to see it because it's not there until a scandal comes. The only time members typically see transparency in leaders is when they have to apologize for what they've done in secret.
Good.
This was something they could see. And so who was going to take an account for this? Because in their mind, and rightfully so, this is not our doing. Right. And so if it's not the devil, then who is it?
Wow.
And when are we going to hear the reason this is what it is? Right. And so given that clarity, it freed me from so much, and it changed my ability to hold people accountable.
Wow.
It changed the ear that I had for people, because people can hear you and people can also turn you off.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
People can hear everything you're saying and turn you off at the same time.
Yes.
Right? You'd be like, did you hear what I said? Yeah, I heard you.
I never thought about that.
I heard you.
But I do it all the time.
And then they go and they don't execute nothing you said.
Nothing.
Because they heard you. They heard you and wasn't listening to a word you said. Right? Because in their mind, I'm not going to disrespect you, but your voice is not credible to me.
Yeah, it's not credible. Exactly.
Right? And you don't want to lose the credibility with your voice.
No, you don't.
I don't care how gifted you are. Don't lose the credibility in your voice.
You don't.
That will change everything in your ministry. Like, people need a voice that is credible and that is honorable, and that is what has really kept us in the space, man. Like it's insane right now.
To
Like
God be glory.
they are overly excited, you know,
Wow.
and ready. And so we just believe in God.
Thank you, sir. This was something.
And I
Excellent.
enjoyed myself.
This was
Excellent.
I enjoyed
something.
myself.
I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I swear I learned a
Yeah.
lot about you and your philosophy, your ministry, the way you think about ministry.
Yeah.
That I did not know. I did not know we had so much as it pertains to our thought process in common. And I think this may be people are listening to who the leadership is today.
Absolutely.
We have different corners, different spaces.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're going to kind of hear who the leadership is today.
Yeah.
So that the people can make a wise decision
For sure.
as to
Yeah, for
who
sure.
the Lord is, how they're going to follow and support the leadership that is emerging. And for some of those who has,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Who has actually taken the stage.
Yeah.
And said, this is what the Lord is giving. And this is who I am. And this is my piece, my portion in the body of Christ. And I'm going to do it with the best of my ability.
For sure.
To God be the glory. This was good, sir.
Excellent.
I enjoyed myself.
This is good, sir. So we I think we already asked about KDT, but we'll ask you this last question. Anything, Tim? We out of here, Tim.
Oh, I enjoy it.
I always ask this last
Totally.
question, and I don't know where you're going to take this, but this is always ask the last question. What's next?
Man.
You, the church, the body of Christ,
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
I mean,
don't know who.
I-
just what's next?
I
Doc?
think,
I
you
don't
know, I think what's next is we have to, I really believe there is a level of community amongst leaders. And I think it's time for us to really come together and start to really communicate about the things that we see and communicate about how the church can get back to a healthy state. The church has ballooned, but people have the misconception of how big it's become. The church is not healthy, it's infected. It's infected. We have a lot of infiltrators inside of the kingdom that has caused swelling, but it has not caused growth. And so settings like this is valuable and it's needed because I think, to your point, yes, many will come to our different locations based on what they hear. But I think there are some pastors and people that need to hear, I'm not crazy. I really do know God. I really know when God is speaking to me. My perspective isn't off because you can feel like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
You can feel like it's me. I'm insane. Like I'm missing everything until you hear, like, you know what? I'm not crazy. You know what? I do hear from God. I think there's a level of collaboration that is necessary in the kingdom, and it's going to come from leaders that are willing to put their ego aside and say, let's come together and let's figure out how this is going to work. Kingdom collaboration is one of the most vital pieces right now
Yes, absolutely.
to the church, right? We can no longer be in this island where I'm doing my thing over here and I'm doing my thing over there. Yes, we have those spaces, but we have to come together more
Yes.
because unity is missing from the church. And this is why people don't like fellowshipping, because churches have now become, this is us,
Yes.
that's y'all.
Yes.
Back in the day, you was excited about, oh, I know I'm going here. Oh, I know we going here. I'm going to see my buddy. I'm going, not now. Because we have created silos, right? This is our space and this is our territory, right? No, we come together to impact everything. So I really believe the church is headed towards kingdom collaboration. I also believe, I really believe this. I also believe that many people that have birthed churches out of frustration are going to find a space to submit themselves to because it's not working. Right? You're trying to hold on to the 3 and 4. Just humble yourself and go over there and be a good two. We don't got a lot of twos. We're overpopulated with ones that don't have what it takes to be a one. But they're called to be a two.
Wow.
Got some people out of place. That's why the kingdom is leaning. Got people out of place. We got so many people at the top. But we don't have nobody that's going to structure that bottom and hold it on. Right? We were able to stand on the shoulders of many because they balanced it out. The mothers were the mothers, the missionaries, the deacons, the ministers, the elders. Right? They were solidified in that. Yes. I'm a sanctified deacon. I'm going to open this church. I'm going to close this church. Yes. I'm going to count this money. I'm going to make sure. It's the small things, right? Yeah. I'm going to make sure these women get to their cars. I'm going to make sure the grounds are secure. I'm showing up early to make sure the heat is on. Come on. Like those are the things that's the mothers. I'm going to be on church. I'm going to be church early because I need to get in there and pray before they get here. Yeah. Right? So we have so many just giving orders. Yeah. We don't have enough people fulfilling the expectations. God be glory. And so we have to find a way to balance this back out. And I think it's going to take multiple voices that push kingdom collaboration. Amen. You know, I think if me and Pastor Fliggins and Prophet Johnson and some other pastors push kingdom collaboration, you'll start to see more fellowships. Absolutely. Fellowships is missing from the church. Fellowships is missing. Big time. It's missing. It's missing. It's all about $1 now. Yeah. $1 honorarium. Right? Exactly. Who got this? Who got that? Yes. Yeah. The fellowship part is missing, bro. Yes. And we got to figure out a way to get it back. It's important. It's vital. Good. It's important. And that is something that's really on my heart. Is fellowship back in the church.
To God be glory.
Yeah.
Receive, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. All right.
Do you want to just give us your social media information and where we can follow you?
So you guys can follow me at you can follow the church at Kingdom. Let me see. Where are we? There's so many social media pages. I'm still trying to get used to it. So if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, Will_built_for this. That is my Instagram handle. If you look on Facebook, it's simply Pastor William Craig. And for our church and ministry, Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle is currently worshiping at Mission Life Church, which is at 2409 Asquith Street in the city of Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to Overseer Clay Burston, who has opened his doors to support us in this transitional time. We're there every Sunday at 1:30, and all of our social media handles are simply Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle. So go in there, like, share, follow, and say a prayer for us.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay, we're good.
You good?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of Pastor Anthony Said. This is your spiritual podcast station, and we just brought you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. This is the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. This episode of the PAStour will be available on tomorrow, Friday, right? It'll be available on Friday on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and everywhere that podcasts are available. We love you, and thank you for loving us.